girly drinks, we drink beer and beer and beer, beer, beer.
Yeah, baby.
Or girly drinks, we drink beer and beer and beer, beer, beer.
All right, we are back Thursday night for another happy hour live after a week off last week. And I got to tell you, that's actually pretty slick what StreamYard did there. So now they've built in the intro. You hit one button and I have to flip around trying to time everything up. So very nice job, StreamYard, on your part for that. But welcome back, everybody, to happy hour here with Todd. You know, that great channel, What's Your Beer? And then just launched recently. If you haven't been around, make sure you check out that channel. And of course, we got Dave, the great channel Beer in Front. So great to have you as well. Our man in Chicago getting it done for sure. And as you see in the bottom of my thing, just like Dave, he didn't put on his, but beermediagroup.com. See that, Dave? I worked that in there. I can get that press.
If I log off, I'll log back on again.
And there's our fourth wheel. We got Mal in the house from a Perfectly Me Craft. So welcome, Mal. Happy Thursday. Did you go last week? Did y'all go to Great American? Because that was the goal, but I don't know if you guys made it out there or not, Mal.
Great America.
Beer Fest?
No.
Denver, Colorado, beer festival.
Thinking of the amusement park.
Not Six Flags.
Yeah.
To be entirely honest with the health issues I've had, it
okay
into the radar. So
got you.
Wasn't the best plan.
Well, since we didn't do it last week, I forgot to see if you did go out there or not. So, but, so that's all right. Still on the goal for both of us, so it's still on the list. So yeah. Well, welcome in and welcome everybody there out in the chat. And so if you're new to the channel, Thursday nights, we come in, we have some beers, we have some fun. Hopefully we have some laughs, and hopefully you guys are all in a good mood as you head into Friday for that last day of if you're off on the weekend, your last day of the work week there. If you work Saturday or Sunday, can't help you out in that one. I mean, my condolences.
This is my Sunday night, so.
Oh, you off now? Like in your new schedule, Thursday and Friday?
I'm off Wednesday.
Wednesday and Thursday, rather. Yeah. Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Well, somebody's got to go in and make the donuts, right? So,
yeah.
Of course, all the young people don't even know what that means anymore because only not past the Gen Xers either could make the donuts. They have no idea what I'm talking about. Dunkin' Donuts back in the day. Look it up. So there you go. But I'm ready to definitely drink some beer. I don't think I've had a beer maybe
every
Saturday. No, I don't think I've had a beer maybe like on Saturday or something. I'm trying to think. So it's been a while.
No, every 5 minutes for the last 10 years. We know. It's cool. You can admit it to us.
Is that how the math works out? That's how the math goes. That's how the math, as the kids will say. Shout out to JT in the house. JT, cheers, my friend. We got the mighty Chicago contingent coming in strong already. So there we go. So I'm going to crack open a beer, and this was going to be a review. So I'm to the point now where I'm like, you know what? I've got too much beer, and I've said this numerous times. You know what? I'm just going to drink it. If I do a review on it, I'll get another one later on. If I don't, I need to move something. So
there's no such thing as too much beer. Yeah. No such
thing. I am actually going to kick this one off. You know what? I'm going to probably kick myself for drinking it tonight because I know it's going to probably be a tasty beer, but it is going to start off with. Anytime you put Willet on something, you know it's going to be good, right? Willet Bourbon Barrel Aged Flying Dog Gonzo Imperial Porter. Just because I need to get it out and get it down. So
much for pacing yourself and starting out light and working your way up. You're just going right from the top.
I mean, it's 11.3, so it's a session now for me. I'm a big guy. What do you want? I mean, that's just how I get down. Yeah. So me and my little J BeerVentures Funko Pop, we're going to crack this one open first here. So that's what I'm going to be cracking open. Who wants to go next and tell the class what you're going to share?
Today, I'm drinking KCBC Foot Goose. West Coast style IPA.
A Foot Goose, Foot Loose.
Goose.
6.6 ABV.
Well, I had to figure I'll start light, so I went with deluxe home beverage from Roaring Table. This is only 5.8%, so not too bad, but That's pretty good, pretty tasty.
That's a nice one to actually sit back and enjoy.
And
Ron
I
is come
have
from Jungle Gyms.
I miss that place, Jungle Gyms. Yeah, Mal.
Ravinia Brewing Company Keep Vic a Secret, which is an Australian pale ale, 5.3.
I have not picked that one up yet. That's one that's on my radar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's they called it Keep Vic a Secret because they only use the Vic Secret hops, but it shows them like keeping it secret that they have a baby kangaroo, and it made me very pleased because it's dorky and yeah.
Somebody's gonna come out with a Keep Diddy secret beer at some point.
Just a big can of lube. Yeah.
or you've been Diddy Doppelbach. It'll happen. Give it time. Give it time.
Sponsored by Astroglide. Yeah.
That's slick.
Yeah.
Ooh, for a porter, yeah. That's again. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm kicking myself already because I'm already smelling the bourbon coming out.
All right, well, we better just shut up and let Rod record this so he can post it later. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll go for it, man.
The life of a beer reviewer. I tell you, just trying to get through life, man. Like the dude, just trying to get through life. I mean, you got your porter, you got your dark porter, you got your dark color too. You got your tan head, beige head, whatever color you want to call that type head. Nice foaminess on it, though. I tell you, for 11.3, it is holding the head nicely for sure. I won't say it. Never mind. Oh, the sweetness on it, the bourbon that comes out, the oakiness is there from the barreling, a nice wood sensation. Again, not going to say it.
TWSS.
Nice sweetness on the nose from the malts. It's very reminiscent, even though it's a stout, but the aroma is very reminiscent of Lagunitas Willitas, right? So you got that same feel from the barreling of that spirit. It's got a nice little caramelly underbelly to it. That baby is smooth as sliding down P. Diddy steps right there. That is smooth. It's got a nice velvety type feel. I'm talking about Elvis on the Wall paint and velvety type touch to it. It's got a nice little bit of stick-to-itiveness in the mouth where you get that stickiness taking place, and that caramel really kind of comes through underneath, and it goes into a little bit of a toffee type sensation. Yeah, this is one I probably could have done a good review on, but I'll just have to cut this out as a short. If you happen to see this beer out there, I definitely say grab it. This one is actually one that I've had for a bit of time. So I did have this one aged, vintage 19, God Lord. Woo.
You did age that.
Yeah, 2022. I don't know why I said 19. So 2 years, pretty much, because I think this comes out towards the winter when they release it. And it is just as smooth and velvety as you can actually imagine. And this is where it gets blurred, right? Because the Imperial Porter at this level, if you took a blind tasting, you probably could think it was a stout, right? Even though stouts are porters, you still try to break it down to porter stout, but the line is just so blurry with it now. Like, it's got a nice little pastry type stout feel to it. But yeah, this is definitely a banger. And for me, I'm getting a nice little chocolatey type sensation coming through right now as well. Yeah, this is like, I'm gonna say if I was going to get in between the numbers like Joe does and some of his stuff, the Beer Patrol, probably like about a 4.4, but I'll give it a 4.25 because I do quarterly on Untappd. Not all the way to the 4 or 5 level, but damn good beer for sure. So 4.25 out of 5 for this one here. And yeah, I'll have to try to hunt this back down again. But well worth picking up, and 2 years aged, very, very smooth. So a nice one there from Flying Dog. Get that dog in you.
All right, you done? Can the rest of us talk now? You done recording your segment on that?
Apparently he is because he went silent.
It's that thing. It's so touchy. It's just so touchy here, but Yeah, I think I'm done right now, but by the time I get to the bottom of the glass, I might have a few DMX barks that come out. Just saying.
Goody, we have something to look forward to.
Well, there you go. You got to have something to put out there for the people, right? You got to look ahead. So who wants to share their beer, what they're actually enjoying?
We already did.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, you want to talk about your beer, not just not to mention it, but to talk about it. If you want to drink it and enjoy it.
He was on that one. It's already kicking in.
Yeah. Mine's an extra pale ale, so mine's pretty basic, but a lot of good flavors out of this. They use Centennial, Lotus, and HBC 586 hops. This is just, I mean, everything Roaring Table puts out here is excellent.
Yeah. They have never done a bad beer, really. They're just phenomenal.
Nice.
And they're really close to my house, which is awesome.
It's always a good. Well, is it always a good thing? Because
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
after a point, it's like, you know what? Just take part of my check and direct deposit to this brewery for me because I'm going to be there anyway.
I keep asking with Tight Head and Phase 3 and Roaring Table and Liquid Love and stuff, and they're like, no, we don't have the capability to take your paycheck direct yet.
No.
So I know they're working on it for me.
Yeah. Well,
Will they cash it for you like a currency exchange used to do? Just cash your check, sign it over?
I hope so. That's what I'm working on. I just want direct deposit so I can go in and drink whatever.
who was that? The Futurama? Just shut up and take my money. That little cartoon. Anything sticking out for you, Todd, Mal, on your beers you want to share?
Mine is citrusy, sharp. It's a very sharp pale ale. It kind of bites back a bit with a grapefruit pith close. So it's super, super dry in the close. Not really a juice bomb, but I mean, it's Vic's Secret. So anyone who's had a only Vic's Secret beer, it those hops. It's pretty straightforward. So.
Yeah,
It is
Master
fresh
T.
now.
mine's pretty mellow, really. I kind of wish I'd have saved it now because Shannon's not really much in the hoppiness of the IPAs. So this one I think would have been probably a pretty good one to try to start out because it's not, for all the hops that's in it, it's not really that hoppy. I'm not really sure what the IBUs are on it, but it has nice kind of like orange juicy, very like juice forward.
Oh, okay, guys. Juicy. Got to get the juicy out there.
Like the hot bite's just barely on the back end, but it's not what I was expecting. I would have thought
Yeah.
especially for a West Coast style, I'd have thought it'd been more in your face, and it's not.
And you see, you got that with a Jungle Gems on the last one, which apparently, did you make another run to Jungle Gems, the picture you sent me, or was that just other stuff you picked up locally?
That's the same one.
Okay. Yeah.
We bought all the. Did I send you a picture of all the beers we bought?
No, you sent me the one today of the ones that were like some, and I don't know if you made another beer run,
Oh no.
or if that was from when you went there before.
No,
like
that was from a liquor store here where they're putting out the Christmas stuff already. I'm like, really? We're not even Halloween yet.
Well, speaking of Christmas beers today, if you are or in the Cleveland area, because I'm sure they're still open if you're there now, but they did do their first tapping of the Christmas ale at Great Lakes. So they do that like as a big event at the local. You have to be locally to get that first tapping now. So I still feel it's early. I mean, Trogs has already dropped Mad Elf, like, and one of the guys that posted, I was like, it's too soon. He's like, it's never too soon for me. Like, yeah, it's just, I'm not ready to get the Halloween first or something. We don't need the Christmas beers yet.
Like, even beers on the shelf yet, and you're already having it into the Christmas sales.
I'll give you between Halloween and Thanksgiving. You know, I'd rather wait to after Thanksgiving, but I'll give you that. I'll give you that little time in between there. But you're before Halloween. You're just too early for me. I'm just now starting to turn to pumpkin beers, right? So, because they came out too soon.
Or maybe even like the week before Thanksgiving, just to, if you have guests over or whatever, so you can give them something to get into Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if there's as many seasonals out there. So you have your Oktoberfest that should be out now, but they come out in like July when it's 100 degrees. Your Christmas beers, then you have like spring and summer. So I mean, that's it. They're not doing as many, different seasonal beers, so they just pump them out way too early.
Yeah. Well, they get them out there so they can, again, they want to get the sales in before people get burnt out on stuff, right?
Mhm.
So, but they'll put the Mad Alpha out, and the Mad Alpha will be out there till like February, March that I've seen before spots, into April even. So that's one you can age for a number of years too. So people don't mind getting it and holding on to it. But I will say, if you want to get it, the Grand Cru will usually go a little faster of that version. So if you want to see that, if you're a Belgian fan, you might like that one a little bit more.
So
I think so.
What's the next wave of stuff after Christmas? As far as
You get your stringy beers, lighter beers.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but I was like, I wasn't sure if that's actually very many of them that come out that way or not. But
I mean, if the Christmas beers are out now, I'm gonna have to pull a Rod J and hit my Costco and see if I can get a deal on a case of Oktoberfest for like $10.
yeah, you might very well for like the Sam Adams or something.
Yeah.
I know
I still need to try to find out one Costco beer everybody's been talking about, because I think you got it, didn't you, Dave? And everybody talks about how good it is.
I'm actually might see if I could take a run there after work tomorrow, which on a Friday afternoon might not be my smartest decision, but I do want to see it because it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, and I know in some spots, I don't know where, because I think somebody else did tell me they got it. I think it was like $10.99 where they got it, but they said it was down like $9.99 in some spots. And it's a 22-ounce bomber that's actually done by Deschutes, so you know it's solid. And they put Deschutes name on it. You're probably paying $16, $17, $18 for it, right? But you're getting it for $9.99 to $11.99 somewhere in that area, just because they put the what's that name they use there at Costco? Because I'm not a Costco person, but it's Kirkland. Yeah, because they put Kirkland on it. Which is like Trader Joe's when they get Unibrew stuff, and they'll put like Trader Joe's like vintage ale, but it's like it's a great brewery that's brewing it. You're getting a great discount. So yeah.
So what beer is that at Costco? Which one is that one?
It's a stout. It's an imperial stout they did. I can't remember the name of it offhand. But everybody's been raving about how good it was, and it's like a great deal because they put in a 22-ounce bomber. It's a Kirkland something stout.
Just recently?
Last month, I think.
Yeah, last month or so.
Few weeks, month. Yeah.
I'll have to go over and check it out then, because we got one not too far from work. So.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. It's Signature Vintage Ale, Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout.
Mm-hmm.
Only $10.
In fact, some spots people are saying it's been low as $9.99 they've seen, but I think the highest spot's maybe around 11 or something. But it's a 22-ounce bomber.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Barrel aged. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and again, it's done by Deschutes, so you know it's going to be solid.
Yeah, what I'm reading here, I just pulled it up. It's like the mid price is like $10 for a bomber. Trying to see if I can get an ABV on this, but I'm just looking at a generic website. It doesn't say anything, but if it's an imperial stout, you got to figure it's at least 10%.
Let's see here, Costco.
I've been wanting to go by Aldi and pick up a couple of their new ones they've got out. I saw TK do his on the other day from when he picked up there.
Yeah, that's hit and miss.
Nice.
And I've heard, and I can't divulge, but I think they're going to change the place they contract brew from, which would be a good thing in this area, in the Chicago area.
Same here, Dave. Same
yeah.
Here. Yeah,
some of the stuff they put out is not good.
I'm trying to see what the ABV is on here. 2024. So I got a picture of it, but I don't got the ABV on the picture I'm looking at.
12%.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Get a 12% beer for $10 and a hot dog for $1.50. You're good to go.
Hey.
Yeah, it says, however, if you're interested in trying an option that will not overpower the palate with layers of coffee, caramel, and chocolate interwoven with soft bitterness, this new batch of Kirkland Signature Vintage Ale may be to your liking. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I will take that, sir. Yeah, 12% there. Oh, man. Okay. But here in Maryland, they don't have the Costco's don't even sell alcohol because of the stupid state laws they got here.
Well,
if I see it tomorrow, I'll get you on.
Well, I appreciate it.
For Costco's in Louisville, you have an outside store. So you don't have to be a member to Costco to go to the liquor store there because it's on the outer part of it.
Yeah, well, in Kentucky, it was the same way. Like, you'd have to be a member so you can go into their liquor store, right, because of the state law or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, because it's
But at least give us a shot and sell it. Comments here. Yeah, and adapted. The Diddy double bock is nasty work. Yeah. It's going to be a little slippery. I'm drinking pronounced Progress, Czech style dark lager by Revolution Brewing. Okay. I haven't seen that one from Revolution. You two probably have it, though.
I haven't tried it yet, but I've seen it.
Cheers, Hector. Welcome, my friend. A ride on Golden Road 10 hops hazy IPA, 7.5 ABV. Nice.
Oh, I had a Silversmith dark lager yesterday.
Silversmith, the
Yeah.
place we went to?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You brought it back from up there then.
No, when we all met up with Chew in the
Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. The guys had put together a bag of beer for him, and one of them happened.
Oh, that was awesome.
And I was like, "Hey, neat!" So Chew said it was cool if I took it.
That was really cool of them to do that.
Yeah, there were 2 cans of it, so he had one and I had the other. But yeah,
They did some good beer at Silversmiths. They were pretty solid.
Yeah, those were good.
Well, thank you, Unadapted, my friend. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a tasty beer. I'm kind of going through it probably a little faster than I should, but it is so smooth. And I will say it's got the sweetness in there. It's not overly sweet, though, which is a good thing. But you do have to have a little bit of that sweet tooth. It's basically dessert in a glass drinking this thing right now. I've had the regular Gonzo before. And you always wonder, like, if you do a really good version of that, do you have to really step up to another level? And they did a really good job of stepping this one up. So Emerson in the house. Rod Top Day. Hello, hello. And what has 2 thumbs up and is getting loaded into tidy whites? Not me. I lost a thumb in a horrible blender accident. Spring break 93. Let's get fancy beer drunk. You gotta love Emerson, right?
The first description sounded like Chew, but he's at work, and if he's just in his tidy whities, he's going to get in trouble.
Oh, Hector, appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for that. For the donation, goes right to the beer fund. So, thank you. Yeah. So down in the description, if people want to donate to the fund, feel free, or check out some of the stuff there. I added new stuff into the store, a whole bunch of different things that got added into it. I'm actually going to be, I think I already put in there, but I'm going to be picking up one of the Letterman jackets myself because they look actually pretty smooth as the weather is now breaking. So, a whole bunch of nice stuff taking place. But thank you again, Hector. Semi California, you can't shop at Costco unless you have a membership. Yeah. It's so funny, right? So here's the thing with Costco when I was out in Kentucky, like you have to have a membership to go in the store, but then they do have some beer in the store in a different section because they can't put it all in the liquor store sometimes. Or maybe it was Ohio when I went to that one. But anyway, I was like, well, I don't have a badge, but he said come in here because I had to come in here to see other beer selection. I think they had Goose Island or something there. He's like, oh, okay, go ahead and go through. Like, you don't know I'm going to not buy anything else though. But okay, so I had free reign to go in there. So if you ever want to get into one, they have alcohol, and just say, "Well, I'm just here to look at the alcohol," they might let you in.
Yeah, but that varies state by state because I think here, like if you needed to use the pharmacy or like the eye doctor, you could go without a membership, but everything else you need it.
Yeah. Wonder what will be the harder job, being a Walmart checker or being a Costco checker?
Costco checker's easy. That's like stealing right there. Had a job you ever late
Walmart
for?
I feel like you get. I'm not saying you get a higher class of individual shopping there because obviously you have to buy a membership. I'm just thinking Walmart checkers take a lot of shit every time you see like stuff happening. So I think you would have a better situation than being a Costco type person. But not as bad as if you're working in a Waffle House. That'd be a whole totally different thing.
You need like some MMA training to work in a Waffle House.
Really necessary.
I'm Randy Couture. May I take your order?
Yeah.
Don't mess with that guy. Don't mess with him. No. Cheers, David. Great to see you, my friend. Happy Thursday to you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. It's funny. There was a beer festival that's taking place out in Reno. I saw. I didn't pull up the thing to add in here for the comment, but they're having their 10th annual Beer and Chili Beer Fest. Now, I like beer, and I like chili, I don't know if it's good to have in the same festival and people going around sampling together because Lord knows if they got to use porta potties, you do not want to be that person next morning having to get those out.
That's sponsored by. Who sponsors that? Dude Wipes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
You know, I feel like it would be an okay event, but I don't think it should be held indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like it needs to be outdoors.
Those few people like, I'll wait till I get home, but then they get caught out and they can't wait. They got to run to the gas station,
Gas station is what the building would be by the time they're done, honestly.
He's going to blow, literally. That made me thinking, like, what stuff would you not want to put together with beer? Obviously, chili, beans, things like that. And it's just like, there's certain stuff you do not want to. I don't know. I'm not a fan of them, but I hear a lot of times like Brussels sprouts will make you fart and all kind of stuff. You wouldn't want that probably with a bunch of beer. Though that would be a weird festival. It was a beer and Brussels sprout festival. What kind of people would be going to that? That'd be interesting to see the crowd.
Well, you've never heard of that one? It's hosted every spring in Brussels.
Yeah.
Well, remember, what was that soda pop company? Jones? They put out like a Brussels sprout like soda pop for Thanksgiving. They had one that tasted like turkey and stuffing, one that tasted like cranberry, and they had one that was Brussels sprouts. And I'm like, no, just no.
Oh, I have a baking soda in the fridge. Well, it's Chews, but there's a baking soda pop in our fridge right now. We haven't opened it yet because we're scared.
It's supposed to taste like baking soda?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And why would anybody want to do that? I mean,
it was my cousin gave it to Chew as a gift because he likes bacon so much. So she bought him baking soda when she saw it.
We have to let us know how that goes. That sounds interesting in itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weed involved. Who thinks of that shit?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of weed involved. Come up with that. Yeah. There's too many dispensaries out there now coming up with these things. Yeah, that would be a gnarly dump for sure. I mean, you must at that point. I mean, is it that much different than a beer and Taco Bell festival? I mean, because that would be that would be pretty bad too.
It becomes not much of a beer tasting though, because if you're eating something as strong flavored as chili, you're really not getting flavors of the beer at all. You're just there to drink. So
pretty much,
it's not really a beer tasting anymore. Chili is too strong a flavor.
It's just becoming sloppy at that point.
The beer to see what it smells like.
Yeah,
that's going to be inaccurate.
What would be a worse festival? Beer and Taco Bell or beer and White Castle?
Oh, beer and White
Castle.
White Castle.
I had White Castle this morning, so I don't want to hear about it. I was at White Castle at 10:15 this morning, grabbing a 10-pack for $8. I'm like, I'm in. Had to take the dog to the vet. They said they need a stool sample. I'm like, this works. Moira, here you go. You can have a little. Daddy will have the other 9.
Yeah, it got more going, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That was something feeling kind of loose back there. Yeah. I need to go out now.
Yeah.
Of course, my friend. Of course. Let's see. Have you been to any Oktoberfest this year? I have not gone to any. This year, I didn't make it to any. They had one that was at one of the local spots here. They had like 3 weekends over at Guinness, but I never made it over there. I had so much stuff going on. So this was a year I did not make it. Now, when I was in Cincinnati, I used to go to Oktoberfest when they would have it there every year for like the last few. Well, it was more up to the pandemic. And after the pandemic, it kind of took a little while to get back going.
Isn't that one like the biggest one outside of Munich?
Yeah, biggest one outside Munich. So, which you guys should come down to that at some point, to the one in Cincinnati, because it's only like a 5-hour drive for you guys down from Chicago. That one is a blast.
Yeah, I didn't make it over to that one.
Yeah. But yeah, you were talking about Todd, the other stuff coming out. So what Cincinnati will have like in February is their Bachfest. So they have a lot of Bachs and stuff on, but they have like a Bach festival where like a lot of the different Bachs are coming. And then the Bachfest they actually do is actually it's a pretty big Bach fest. As far as I think, like the lowest ABV is like around 8% or so. So people get pretty hammered, and then they have like parade, and they have the goats and all kinds of stuff. So then it's just like becomes like a shit show at some point. But it's a fun time. So yeah,
that might have been what I was thinking of. I knew thinking there was something coming up in like early February, March, something like that.
Well, we got the Cincinnati Beer Fest.
Yeah,
and the Bach Fest is usually like that week before or the week after. So it's they're pretty close together when they do it. At least that's in the past what they've done. Ice cream and beer is making yeah, that's not good either. Yeah, ice cream and beer. And remember when they were doing like the Not Your Father's Root Beer, and they were doing all those floats?
It was so good.
It had to be bad for a lot of those bars.
Well, delicious nonetheless.
It was delicious going down, but coming back, ooh, yeah.
No, maybe I just don't understand the male anatomy enough, because I don't understand what you're talking about. Ice cream and beer is a thing. Like, that's a problem.
For some people, yes.
Is it like the dairy issue or what? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, if you're lactose intolerant, for one, that would definitely kick into the dairy issue.
Yeah.
But then having all that cream and then mixing with the beer, that could actually hit your digestive. Like, you can have maybe fine separating them, but when you put them together, it's like a chemistry experiment in there.
Well, Mal, I'm not that far from you if you ever want to like invite me over for a beer and ice cream festival.
For all those festivals that I host in my tiny little apartment, yes.
Yeah.
Dave, you said that in my mind. Oh, for some reason, Along Came Polly popped in my head when he's like, "We got to go." Like, what do you mean? I sharted. What do you mean? What's a shot? Like, I shot. Sometimes you fart, but sometimes the shit comes out a little bit. Like, I sharted. We got to go. Oh, that can happen at a beer and ice cream festival.
Involved with, but yeah, I've heard that one before.
That was a classic scene. Philip Seymour Hoffman there with Ben Stiller. Yeah. A beer and chili festival seems like that type of event that you leave a suicide note just in case.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, if you have like some spicy chili and you get IPA, they actually work off each other, and it's actually supposed to make it more intense. So you could really be like going through like your mouth burning and then something else burning. It's like, yeah, that could be not the experience you're looking for, because it's these chili festivals. There's always like someone, oh, this is the 4-alarm, this is the fire alarm, this is the nuclear. They'll yeah. Be careful. Although people will have hot chili and they'll drink milk with that, and they'll be okay because that helps to cool down the heat. So you can do milk and chili, I guess. Well, unless you're lactose intolerant again, but yeah. All right, David. Cheers, my friend.
David,
have a good one.
All right.
Good night.
But yeah, this one, getting a way to get the night started with this right here. Yeah. So we had a little bit of stuff we were talking about. We'll talk about that, because the thing that I was going to talk about as one topic was Great American Beer Fest, and a question I was going to put out there, everybody. But Dave, with you being here and some of the stuff you hit on earlier, like beer news, like some of the stuff that's happening that you're seeing out there, that you mentioned earlier and stuff too, we were talking about. You want to hit on some?
Yeah, I just saw, literally like 10 minutes before I logged on here, Sierra Nevada, they're starting to can their Celebration Ale, which is always a great holiday beer, fresh hopped IPA, but they're going to donate $1 for every barrel that they put out this year is going to go towards Western Carolina hurricane relief. So that's cool. And I know a lot of breweries are doing something for, I think it's called Pouring for Neighbors. And I know like a lot of breweries all over the country, there's like 4 or 5 here in the state, but there's a ton all over where like $1 for every pint goes to North Carolina relief, which is cool.
Yeah. So
like
definitely
together like that.
Yeah, definitely. As you're out there, and you're purchasing the beer, and you're trying to figure out which kind of things to get, keep that in mind. You might want to try a new beer from a brewery you may not have, because they might be supporting North Carolina. There's a lot of good breweries and a lot of good stuff. And before we came on, we were talking earlier about some of that. And like one of the ones, Highwire, was always been one I've always enjoyed, but they got pretty hit hard with the storm down there with Helene when it came through, and then some of the other ones that got hit. And I know was it who were talking, like Sierra Nevada down there that were trying to do some stuff, I think maybe to help out some stuff. I think they weren't affected, or they're in Nashville, right? Sierra Nevada, or that's good. I was keep thinking,
and New Belgium, they have a
New Belgium, yeah. So they were trying to do some stuff to help some of the breweries that got a lot worse than they did, but some of their key breweries in Asheville, and anybody knows about craft beer knows Asheville's like a big spot on the map, and they had a lot of key breweries that got really hit hard, and some are still not open down there. I think Highwire's still not even open down there because of everything taking place. So anything to always help out. Say top.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of them will take a while to get back on their feet.
Yeah, with some of them and stuff. I mean, as they come out more and more, seeing some of that footage down there, it was just kind of crazy to see because they weren't. I mean, it's Asheville, so they're not used to seeing like the hurricane type stuff happen the way it came through there. Like just seeing like some of those houses that float away, or people not, realizing what to do. They were just caught up in it. It was just kind of a crazy thing to unfold. So, fortunately, they were spared. The second one that came through was unfortunately people in Florida took a hit there with that other one that just happened as well. But
yeah,
that season, and the thing is, it still goes through October through November for hurricane season. So, knock on wood, nothing else serious happens for those folks. But they got to be definitely an alert down there still.
October through November.
That's what they said. Like the hurricane season, they're still expecting more to possibly come through.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
It starts like earlier and earlier now. Like it seems like it starts in like late July, early August. So, I mean, it just seems like hurricane season's like growing and growing.
Well, we know it's not climate change, right? So
no, that's a myth.
Yeah, it is. And now they're like right now they're expecting it to actually kick over in the winter from not even having as much of a fall. It just started hitting a lot of cold stuff, like out in Bozeman and all of that, Bozeman, Montana, and spots out there. They're already getting their first snowstorms coming through, and they're expecting it to be a pretty cold winter with stuff happening. Which Chicago, y'all know about the cold winter there. So I mean, more cold, more snow, all that kind of stuff. So it's it's going through the changes or whatever that the earth goes through. So I guess it is Mother Nature because women go through changes, Mother Nature going through changes.
I'm going to mute now. Let me just mute this right now.
Changes? What?
What?
So men don't go through changes then? It's just women? What? Excuse me?
That's how I learned in the science class with the biological changes.
Rod, you're on an island on this one, my man.
I don't think your voice was quite this Barry White when you were little, just so you know.
Oh, mine was.
If you bought a Corvette recently, there's another change for you, sir.
Yeah. Well, they go through men go through that kind of change where it's like, I'm gonna get a Corvette when I'm 50-something years older, like that. But physical changes like they have, because men don't have like.
You're still going, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Mel,
I am still going.
You okay? Like Mel, your eyes roll. Mel's eyes roll to about here.
Yeah.
Can I spell you a shovel? It sounds like you need one.
I just do it to get Mal worked up. So yeah.
I know. Hey, I am the only female on the panel. I have to represent. I'm sorry.
This is when Shannon would jump in. We don't need no mansplaining. Like, I'm sorry, Shannon. I'm sorry. Dairy and alcohol notoriously hard on the liver, and yes, digestion as well.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah, which is still kind of weird in my mind, thinking about like dairy, like milk. Like we're the only like species that drinks the milk of another species.
Yeah.
And then it's like, as you find out more as you get older and they do more of the science, it's like you don't even need to really have that milk instead of like your early years for growth and stuff like that and everything. So,
though it is common to, especially for women, actually, to need extra calcium as they get older because osteoporosis is so common.
Right. But then you could do stuff like that. They said being in the, like getting vitamin D from the sun, right? If you're outside more and being more active, they found that to be some substitutions into it as well. Or you get the supplements now.
Yeah, I could just chew on eggshells for a while and see what happens.
Nah, give me the cow teat.
I'll take the milk, thanks. on eggshells sounds like the worst thing ever. It's right up there with chewing on tin foil.
I think of a person chewing on eggshells. I feel like that's like you're riding through the city on a bus to see something like that happen. Like that's somebody on a bus that will be across from you chewing on eggshells.
What buses are you on, man?
I just feel like that's something you would see in the city somewhere on a bus ride. Like somebody like, hey, you're just like, you're stuck. You can't go anywhere because you're just on the bus.
I take the CTA every day. I have never seen that.
See, now I'm thinking of Trading Spaces with Eddie Murphy and
Dan Aykroyd, Trading Places.
He's on the bus in the Santa suit and he has the salmon and he's eating it.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
Oh my God.
A weird thing would happen there.
Yeah.
The salmon. Oh, that was horrifying.
Just see some guy just starting to eat eggshells on there. I don't know. I don't know why it popped in my head thinking it'd be on the bus. Maybe a subway, but it's definitely public transit in some regard to see that.
I still put eggshells in my coffee grounds, though.
Do you really?
Well, when I used to drink way too much coffee, like 4 pots a day myself, and it was giving me a lot of digestive issues, ulcers, because coffee is very acidic.
Yeah, well, 4 pots a day. Yeah.
Well, when I was a teacher, I had a coffee pot in my classroom, and I didn't regulate myself, so I just kept going and going. So, but I was having a lot of stomach issues, ulcers, whatnot, and because eggshells are very basic as far as acidity, you can crumble some eggshells into your coffee grounds, and it soaks up some of that acid, so the coffee is less harsh. Like Starbucks, all their coffee is super acidic, but just a pinch of eggshell in the grounds before you brew helps a ton. Oh my gosh. And I was able to work myself down to maybe 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day. So I'm doing better.
How did you teach school? 4 pots of coffee. You had to be like Cornholio.
No
kidding.
You don't understand. I was a music teacher for the entire school, so kindergarten through high school, and I had to have as much energy as them to survive because I was handing them all big noisemakers all the time. Music teacher.
I bet, yeah.
So it was a lot of energy to keep up with kids learning music. You grow you do grow a dependence on coffee, but you also get immune to it. So every day I was finding I needed just a little bit more to get through, just a little bit more. So yeah,
that's how it all starts. Gateway drug.
Oh, for sure. Coffee is the new gateway drug.
Yeah. Well, I used to do the 5 shots of espresso in my venti at Starbucks when I see that every morning back in the day. Like,
I still do.
I mean, you literally had to drink named after me when I come in there, and it'd be like, I forgot which one it was, but it'd be like, got 3 extra shots of espresso, and like the people that knew me after a point, they were used to it. The new people coming like, did you say he's good, like, you know, like. Yeah, it was, get you going, right? So, but you end up building a tolerance up to it as well. So after a point, it felt like nothing, you know.
Well,
until someone tries it that isn't used to it, and they're like, "How is your heart not beating fast? I just drank your drink, and my heart's beating fast." Well, you're not ready for it yet.
Well, my go-to was a venti quad whole latte. So venti 4-shot whole milk latte, hot, and that's still my baby. I still love that drink.
Yeah, get you going.
Oh yeah,
like the whole manual on its own, just order something.
Well,
like Will Ferrell and Blaze of Glory, it gets you going.
I was a manager with Barnes & Noble. I was a children's manager with Barnes & Noble for 5 years, but that also included covering the cafe on occasion when people were taking breaks. So I actually learned how to make all the Starbucks drinks while I worked there because, it's Barnes & Noble Cafe, but it's through Starbucks, right? So, it makes it a little easier when you know how to make them all because you get to actually pick what you like.
Did anybody ever at Starbucks calculate the possible number of combinations people could make out of their drinks?
I'm willing to bet someone has, but I haven't heard a number.
Okay. I was kind of curious. Everybody ever had that out there, like computed, like we can do 5,465,000 type, like, because there's so many different ways that people mix it up on how they do it and stuff. So,
well, not just the number of syrups they use, but you can ask for light syrup, heavy syrup. You can,
right.
the amount of differences is stupid that you can do. So
whole milk, 2%
I had a friend
coconut
who
milk, soy milk.
Yeah, almond milk. Yeah.
Well, I had a friend who was a shift manager with Starbucks for 12 years, and unfortunately, she wasn't good at math, so I can't ask her.
Yeah, I was all about the caramel drizzle of Starbucks. I was like P. Diddy with some new baby oil when that came out. Yeah. Give me all the caramel drizzle. I got a bunch of P. Diddy drinks. It's going to be a long night, folks. Long night. So take that. Anyway. We love lambic floats, Linderman's Framboos with vanilla ice cream, simply delicious. That would actually be something I would definitely try for sure.
It's delicious. Oh my gosh, raspberry with the it's raspberry, right? The straight up
framboos,
yeah.
So good with ice cream. Oh my gosh.
Lindeman's is one of those. Yeah, I mean, just whatever you got, just give it to me. You got Lindemann? Just give it to me. I'm good.
I'm lighting a candle. Beer and cigarettes just for the show.
How did you get a beer and cigarettes candle?
I was hoping he's going to say it
for me. Yeah.
I heard the little crack and I was like, I hope he's opening a can of chili. Like, we're going to try that challenge right now. Beer and chili.
This is from Soap Distillery. It's called Beer and Cigarettes. It smells like dried tobacco, lavender, and hops. And it smells really nice. Beer and cigarettes, right?
Beer and cigarettes. The hit single follow up to Sex and Candy.
Wow.
Yeah, beer and cigarettes. That sounds like a cheap night. Yeah.
Or a good night.
Or a good night. Or a good cheap night. Come in the house at 6 a.m. Smell like beer and cigarettes. That's right. It was a good night. Emerson, I'm not far from Ground Zero, Nashville. I never received any notification. Only 2 days earlier, I got a tornado warning. The alerts were too so late toast. Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot because you are down there in Carolina. I think it was the tornadoes has really shocked a lot of people. They definitely were not used to that being the case. And then like when Florida, when this other one came through, what was the one behind the lean? What was the name of that one? That was the one that just happened.
Bertha. Let's just say Bertha.
Well, it got to be after.
Yeah. It's got to be
was it Milton? What was the name of the Florida tornado? Florida hurricane. God, is it the alcohol? Is it the drinks? Milton. Yeah, Milton. All the tornadoes they had happening in Florida, like they were not used to that because they don't really get tornadoes in Florida, and they got like a ton of them, and that was just like crazy. Although I do say every time these disasters happen, I'm always like, where did the alligators go? Because I feel like the alligators in a tornado or hurricane, I feel like not that you want to see something bad happen, but I feel like we're closer to a gator NATO than a shark NATO at some point. The alligators should be getting moved somewhere.
The toilet pipe. So when somebody like sits down in the toilet in Florida, gators coming up.
I saw it on TikTok right after that happened, and the lady opened up her laundry room, and there was water over the floor, and there was a great big ass alligator sitting right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Just burn that house to the ground. That's it.
That's gotta go. The door now.
It's a total loss.
Faulty wiring. I don't know what happened, but
oh shoot. Cheers, Vanessa. Great to see you, my friend. We appreciate that. Welcome to the Bestest Beer Channel Chit Chat. Yes, indeed.
I was just going to ask, where's Vanessa? It's like 51 minutes into the show.
Oh, Vanessa was going to be here. She's probably just running around a little bit right now.
Probably killing gators somewhere.
Yeah.
She's out there making some gator shoes.
She might make some shoes. Probably killed a couple gators. Had shoes now.
Vanessa's making a nice belt right now out of some gator shit.
Oh, would not put it past Vanessa to do that for sure. She was like, I think I'm gonna need a purse to go with this. Give me another gator. Yeah.
Pulling out that bow and arrow.
Say hello. Yeah, Starbucks because they burn their coffee.
Yeah, they do. They brew it at too high a temperature. They should pull it back some.
See, caramel macchiato with 3 double espressos in it. This gave the campus center snack bar wide eyes on that order. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, because you get a venti, you already got 2, and I would be like 3 extra espresso, so I'd be at 5.
Vanessa, you and Chu like the same drink. I mean, he doesn't do that much espresso, but the caramel macchiato, that's his go-to.
Yeah. Speaking of Chew, did you show him the picture I saw with him from pre-mustache? It came across my thing like, wait a second, this is crazy. Like, yeah.
You forgot to tell him.
And that was before the mustache even.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. I signed on to a clean-faced person that there was nothing in the marriage license that warned me that I was going to have all of that fuzz on the face. Like, I had no warning whatsoever.
It was just so funny.
I married someone cleanly shaven.
It was just so funny seeing him so clean cut in that picture, and then knowing how he has the mustache and stuff now.
So was that on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that too.
That particular picture was from one of his company holiday parties, I believe. It was the first time I went with him to one of his company holiday parties, and so that would have been 9 years ago that picture came out. So yeah. He was babyface.
Yeah, he was. Before you corrupted him now.
What?
That's on you. That's on you, as Joe would say.
I've been trying to talk him into shaving it off for years. It's like kissing a paint brush.
I had to do a double take because it's like, is that true? That's not
yeah. I almost called Dateline. Like, we need to run an investigation here.
I know, right?
I got an imposter, I think, impersonating my friend.
I was looking at Liquid Love.
Where's Chris Hansen at nowadays? Can we get it out here on this one?
I was with Liquid Love the other day, and I was chatting with a couple of the people there, and someone commented on his mustache, and he has a goatee now too with it.
Oh.
And, yeah, they commented on his mustache, and they're like, "You must really like that." I'm like, "No, I don't." They're like, "What?" And I said, "Wait, this is what I married." I showed them a picture of our wedding day, and they were like, "That's not him. Who did you marry?" It's like, I know, right? Totally different person.
This is going to sound funny, but not funny like funny ha ha he, but also just funny weird, because I'm like, if he's going to like get goatee now, it's like he literally is trying to become like a Fu Manchu type person out there. Like, he's going to have like all the facial hair taking place.
He's actually doing the goatee for our Halloween costume, to be fair. So,
okay.
Yeah. But it's like here, and it comes like down to here. It's in like a point right now. So yeah,
like a Fu Manchu.
He's doing it for Halloween. Yeah. So if you imagine, the big spiral
handlebar mustache,
yeah.
Yeah, I would like that. I'm not allowed.
You're not allowed.
Doing,
yeah.
It's in the paperwork. You can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that.
We're doing Snidely Whiplash and Little Nell for Halloween from Dudley Do-Right, the old cartoon, Rocky and Bullwinkle, like the bad guy. So he's going to be the bad guy. And
you know what's so funny about that? Because I didn't say it, but when I saw him with the clear cut and then he had the stash, I said, he's almost turned into that guy that was a character from the cartoon back in the day. And it's so funny you're saying he's playing that character right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be our Halloween. Yeah. So I'll be the girl with like the ropes around me, and then I'm going to make a railroad track that I'm tied to, that I'll be walking around tied to a railroad track. So, yeah.
The only problem is he's kind of tall there to be playing a shirt guy.
Oh no! You're thinking of the one from Rocky and
I'm thinking of Boris. I'm thinking of Boris. And I'm thinking the Boris and Natasha. Okay.
But Dudley Do-Right was like a side cartoon.
He was the Mountie. He was the Mountie. Dudley Do-Right. Okay.
Mountie was the good guy, and then the villain was Snidely Whiplash, and Little Nell was always getting tied to railroad tracks. So that's what we're doing this year. It'll be fun. Well, because last year we did the strong man and the bearded lady. So again with the mustache. Year before we did the puppeteer and a marionette, so the mustache worked. The year before that we did like steampunk Old West, so it was like Westworld kind of thing. But again, the mustache worked. So we've kind of worked his mustache into all of our couples costumes, and we win best couple every year, which is kind of fun.
There you go. Have you guys ever done like the Addams Family or anything? Although his mustache is too long to be the Addams Family.
That's a pencil mustache. He couldn't pull that off.
Yeah, he'd have to shrink it down for sure. Yeah. But tell him, don't do the one with the stubby mustache. You don't want that little one. He doesn't want to do that guy. You don't want that guy. No.
Everybody at work wants me to be the old man from Up.
No chance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, Dave, you got to be the old man from Up. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Permutations, combinations, fun stuff. Combination proofs are great fun. Are you getting? Yeah, you are getting into math again. How many permutations of what? We can't do math here, Vanessa. We're drinking.
Yeah. He started out with a barrel age. You can't spring math on Rod J right now.
I've got it already, man.
Yeah.
You see that little video of the little girl, and she's doing the word problem for school, and she's like, if Jaden had like 25 cents for this, and he got another 15 cents, and he had this, how much money would he have? And she's just like, Jaden's broke.
That's what I was going to say. Jaden broke. Yeah.
Jaden's broke.
And she just starts laughing. I'm like, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. Let's see. I haven't smoked a cigarette in 8 years, so I might like the smell now. Maybe. I haven't smoked a cigarette since 2000, so that's 24 years.
JT, you can come to my house. We're not that far away. My neighbor down below, and it all comes like right up through this window here. So it's like I do smoke.
But your candle was dried tobacco scent rather than cigarette. I mean, cigarette is that burned tobacco and that ashtray smell, which is nasty.
But this is very nice from Soap Distillery. If you're watching, send some shit my way.
Send my man an affiliate link.
Yeah.
I'm actually coming up on 5 years cigarette free. So.
Yeah. Oh, congrats.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm going to work myself off the vapes next. And hey, what do you know?
There you go. Deep fried gator tail. I haven't had fried gator in a long time. I've had fried gator though.
Yeah, it's been years since I've had that.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
I was given gator tags in Texas back in 2000 by Texas Wildlife Management due to me being a disabled wartime vet. That was fun. So you did hunt some gator. See, so Vanessa probably does have some boots and purses and belts. Practicing my caramel making for sauce and chews.
Nice.
Does he have a Japanese sword yet? My brother was given one by World War II by his longtime neighbor in Texas from World War II.
Vanessa, that's cute. You know I don't give Chew sharp things. Have you ever watched our crafting videos? He super glued himself to the damn table. I can't give him sharp things. I don't even let him use scissors.
But can you give him a Sharpie?
No.
It's a marker.
No, he'll end up with a bigger mustache.
Yeah.
Like I like drawing.
Pictures.
Vanessa, you be a tall Natasha for sure. Like I'm trying to think of this one of the tall actresses and stuff though, because Vanessa's got the height for it. I should come over to help him train better. Here you go. Come on over. I'm actually now drinking the 10 layers of coconut or 10 layers with coconut. Take it down just a little bit. 8% ABV, dessert stout, brewed by RAR Brewing. RAR. RAR.
I've had something from them before.
That sounds so good.
They do pretty good. They do. It's not bad. Say coconut 3 times, Joe might show up. Just saying. Beer Patrol was a coconut fiend for sure. Trez in the house. Cheers, Trez.
What's up, Trez?
Hey, Trez.
I have no idea why I took up smoking in the first place. 38 years, waste of money. Well, I can say I took it up because it was. Well, I started smoking when I was still in high school, like freshman or sophomore. Then it was kind of a peer type thing, and then college, it was just because it was college. But after a point, it's like, okay, I need to quit this. So I went cold turkey in 2000 and never went back.
I was 13 and I was rebelling.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I 13 rebelled, I went and got some Cutty Sark, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did cigarettes and what is it called? Southern Comfort.
Oh, I used to love some Southern Comfort.
13.
When I was
that was my vicious thing that I did to get back at rules.
Southern Comfort was my jam back in the day.
I had a bad experience with Southern Comfort. Yeah.
I think it was everybody's jam. Back
A lot of people had some bad experiences.
Yeah,
not as bad as Janis Joplin, but
yeah, that was.
Don't mix it with 7-Up. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's something like 42 years later. I still can't. Oh no! Oh, look at Cleveland. Cleveland walking it off in the 10th.
Oh, they tied and went to extra innings. Oh wow.
No, Cleveland just won. Cleveland just won. I just watched it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I know they were up by 2 back in like the 7th, I think. So the Yankees came back. Yeah, Southern Comfort back in the day. I did so many Alabama Slammers. You'd have think I would have been out there going Roll Tide because I was all about the Alabama Slammers for a period. Working Connecticut shade tobacco fields. But would you not roll cigars? Age 14, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
When in Rome.
Vanessa out there, age 14, rolling cigars.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that'd be child abuse, apparently. So you got these thing called child labor laws they put into place.
Damn the rules.
All about protecting the kids. For me, it was a substitute for weed. What thing is, I think still to this day, nobody's ever gotten like a case that's shown up of lung cancer from smoking weed.
I don't know.
I mean, that was old. Like, yeah, there's never like, at least last I remember, there's never been a case of somebody getting cancer from it. Now, obviously, doesn't mean it didn't happen, but it's a lot harder when you don't got the chemicals and stuff being put in it like you do nowadays. Yeah, but
it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, think of all the Native Americans when they had like, the peace pipe type stuff. We know what was in it. That wasn't from the tobacco field. Because they would go up on the hill and they smoke around in a circle and they would all have visions. So you don't get that from cigarettes. That ain't the regular tobacco to give you some visions. That's some shrooms, some peyote, and some weed.
So I am Native American, and I'm sorry, we filled a pipe and went up on the hill and ran in circles. Oh, thank you.
I didn't say run in circles.
Super nice. Super nice about my people. Thanks, bud. I'm sorry.
Like Donald Trump. I never said run in circles. I never said Donald Trump. I never said run in circles. I never said that.
Damn it, now give him back to the end.
Too funny.
Well, at least I didn't eat cats and dogs, right? So there you go.
Speaking of weed,
I don't think so.
I'm gonna need a beer in front weed correspondent. So if you're interested, I've got somebody who says they might, but I'm gonna need somebody to help me review some weed water since legally I can't have it, and I guess like an AI voice won't work. So if somebody wants to help me with this,
do an AI voice.
All right.
But no, yeah, I'd be happy to help. I don't mind.
All right, very good. I have your number. I'll text you. Yeah.
Damn it, it's legal here.
That'll be fun.
Tell them to reach out. I'm legal.
Yeah. I got a weed water connection. I'll hook you up.
Yeah. Tobacco job was the first that taxes for 6. Social security was taken out, $1.10 an hour unless you made piecework beyond the minimum expensive tobacco rows picked. Huh. Man, they were working out there.
Okay.
$1.10. I mean, even back then. Well, I guess back then, depending. I don't even know what the minimum wage was back then when Vanessa was 14. Because that would have been 74, I think, if I got the number correct.
Don't age her, Rajay.
She does it all the time on the show. So I know she always says, yeah.
But you don't.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm being age sensitive now.
Yeah.
Insensitive, not asensitive.
Yeah.
I said age. I said age sensitive.
Oh, age.
But the Jew was silent.
The what was silent? Oh my
The
god!
Jew.
What is wrong with
Age.
you?
Age. The Jew. You just heard the A.
Oh, I didn't hear J. I heard Jew, and I was like, no, wait, what did you?
No.
I'm muting. I mean, just mute this shit right
I'm
now.
like, no, everything you're saying is wrong.
YouTube, I did not say that. You have the record.
No. Like, oh my gosh, why do you keep saying things?
Yeah.
What ABV are you drinking right now? Got to be the medicine.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I made kale soup.
Oh, Mal, we always make fun of people. The other day I was making dinner and said to my wife, "Hey, Liz, you're Irish, right? Tell me if you think these potatoes are real."
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why we love you, JT.
I actually teared up on that one. That was great.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
You should hear what I asked Chew about. He's German.
Well, I didn't know agriculture was lower than regular minimum. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I ran out of beer. And I
Rate
needed
my
another
beer in the house. Cheers. Hello. Great to see you.
one. I'll be back.
All right. Up late over there, and I think you're in the UK, right? I believe you're over there with Simo and everybody. So great to have you on. Did anybody else crack a beer open yet? Am I only one in a second?
I did.
So what did you crack? Oh, you got the White Rascal, okay, from Avery, which I haven't seen that in a while.
I had straight to video from Maplewood, and I finished that, so I'm about to go for another one.
There you go. Young kids don't even know what the video is anymore. It's like straight to video. Who goes straight to? Yeah. It's like these old Gen Xers again. As an Irishman, that joke was fucked up. Potatoes are always ready.
Potatoes are always ready. Yes, absolutely.
Oh my god, that's what I thought. I thought you were in the UK. Well, great to have you on because you guys are up definitely late over there. What's it? I think it's just past 2, I believe. So, which if you haven't checked out Rate My Beer, great channel. They do a lot of stuff with Simo, Simo subs that we have on here, Josh from time to time, and another great beer channel. Actually, now I think the Premier League is back, so I'll start watching some more of those matches take place. I helped my older brother during these years at a cemetery association digging graves and lawn work. Wow.
Damn.
That's some backbreaking work right there. You ever watch those lawn videos that pop up? I get them on my feed here and there on YouTube where it's just like somebody's yard is like dilapidated and someone just shows up and they start cutting the grass and to help the people out. Yeah, those are actually kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen somebody he always goes to the door and like somebody comes out that looks like he's about ready to die and he's like, "I'm just here to cut your grass. It's free of charge, whatever."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
This house is nice now.
Those are kind of interesting. Sometimes I'll see people get like pissed at them or whatever. Like they're mad at helping somebody out. And then some people be like, "Will you cut mine next?" Like, what's wrong? Like, he's not just out. He's just, like, what's wrong with you cutting it? But then some people,
Right, yeah.
Some people that'll be thanking them. And I'm just like, all these other people that walk around are healthy. Why didn't you help your neighbor out? Like, I just came to the neighborhood. Like, I knew y'all could have. So it's a great job to see when people do that. But it's just like, if that was your neighbor, why wouldn't you see if you could help them?
Yeah, but like, get your lazy ass out there and help them.
Yeah. But those are always kind of interesting to watch.
They're probably the same ones that are bitching about it. So
yeah. Then they get mad when somebody comes to do it and they do it for free because they're probably paying somebody for lawn care or something like that. It's like, it'd be a nicer world if people help their neighbors out. I think. Just saying.
Help thy neighbor.
You haven't met my neighbor.
Yeah. They might have put something like that in the Bible. I believe. I don't know.
Love thy neighbor.
Yeah. Well, I gotta be careful on that one too.
It doesn't always go well.
No, it doesn't always go well. You're right. What are you gonna say? Well, I'm just following the word of God.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm a priest. I have your back, Rajay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm legally ordained by Miller
Yeah.
High Life.
Speaking, we talking about the hurricane stuff. I don't know if you guys saw the pre-hurricane stuff, but they were interviewing the one guy. I can't remember what his name is, but they were calling him Lieutenant Dan on the internet because he was staying on the boat during the hurricane. If you did see the interview with him, he actually did make it through, but it was just kind of interesting. He's like, God told him to be on the boat down there in Tampa, and that's what he was going to do. And try to get him off of. He's like, no, I'm gonna stay on the boat. That's where God told me I need to be. And he ended up making it through. So, I mean, it was just interesting. And I was like, I want to see if this guy makes it through. I mean, obviously, I was hoping he made it through, which he did, but it's just like he's going to be out there in this hurricane coming through and interesting. So, yeah. So, it was good to see he came out of it okay. I wouldn't say for people to do that, but it was just interesting.
I can't help but hear that in my head as they watching the movie. Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
The way hey.
He was out there on a sailboat when it actually hit. So
On a sailboat?
yeah.
Dan, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
He was like, if the water goes up, then I go up with the water. Water comes down, come down with the water. Yeah, he's just. And they were trying to explain to him, and they had like the people from CNN that interviewed him, and people from the Weather Channel interviewed him, and everybody's like, "You sure you don't?" And they're, nope, this is where I'm going to be. And they checked on him like Friday or Saturday, and he was still there. He was like down low in one of the areas, but he was still in the boat in the water and seated. And yeah, had to be a hell of a ride though.
Yeah.
No kidding.
All right. Well, I'm drinking from Phase 3. They've had this out for a couple of years. This is a collaboration with Affy Tapple. This is a bushel of apples. It's a caramel taffy apple flavored beer. It's pretty good. It benefits some charity, but the print is too small, and I might need new bifocals. So I'm helping somebody by drinking this.
Yeah. Gets back to the whole label marketing thing again.
I'm like, dude, that's a little small, man.
Yeah.
Phase 3 down here every now and again.
Phase 3. What'd you get, Mal?
Oh, the same kind of beer. I have 4 of them in the fridge, so
I have to make a stop over there and grab some of that. So hopefully that's at the city location.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to ask, I don't know what the new name is going to be. They haven't told me. So,
see, Vanessa knows the guy I'm talking about because he did have a large rap sheet with someone investigating his background. Yeah, and he ended up making it through. I wonder if fishing is better than hurricane in a boat. I mean, for Ford's Gump, it worked out. He was the only boat that made it through. They had all the shrimp after that, you know. And he sent the check to Bubba's mom, and she passed out when she saw the check. And yeah. Forrest Gump is one of those timeless classic movies, I think. You just
does it age well though? I watched it like a year or so ago, and I'm like, does this age well? I didn't think it was that good. Like when I watched it recently compared to when it came out in 93, 94, whenever it came out.
Yeah, I mean,
Shannon's the opposite. When it first came out, she didn't like it at all. And now she watches it. She's like, I get it a little. Like, she's like, maybe I didn't understand it when I first watched it as much of all the history.
Yeah.
Now she's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think when you watch it, it's it's not one of those special effects type thing like that. So it's just the whole storyline which is there. I feel like it can. I think there's probably some parts of it, or whatever, that they always say like this didn't age well because like it's something like that was done then isn't like something you do nowadays or whatever, But I think it was good. I thought it was. I think I can still watch it. I think I still enjoy it.
Yeah, I watched the other night because I was waiting for the baseball game to come on TBS. So like right before the pregame, it was Friends. So I watched like the last 10 minutes of an episode. I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, how did people watch this shit 30 years ago? This was not funny.
I didn't watch it back then.
Yeah.
Well, see, I laughed when it came out, but we watched it. And I think we were laughing at the parts we weren't supposed to laugh at, though, possibly. But anyway, we found humor in different parts. So,
yeah.
I still kind of like Friends. I'm sorry. It still makes me giggle.
She loved it too. I never really could get in. I never could watch it.
Oh, for what? For Friends?
Yeah.
Oh, I never watched Friends. No, I watched Living Single.
But then I wouldn't touch Seinfeld with 12-foot poles. So
Oh, Seinfeld's classic. I still watch Seinfeld.
See, I like
Seinfeld's
Seinfeld.
hilarious.
She didn't like Seinfeld.
Why do you hate it so much? And don't say George, because he's only one character.
Because if I knew any of those people in person, I would slap them on an hourly basis because fuck them all. I hate them.
What's wrong with the characters?
Any of them. They're so irritating on every level. They're so stupid and they just don't think about any of their actions or the reactions that happen. And it pissed me the fuck off. You are so fucking useless. You can't even function in this world. And I would slap you on an hourly basis because you deserve it.
How did you really? How'd you really?
But you know, we got people that are actually that still same way. So that's what made it so funny, because you would see people that. Yeah.
With those people. I'm not friends with those people because I would slap them on an hourly basis. I choose my friends very carefully.
But have you ever seen Elaine dance? That's the question.
No.
That's like the worst episode. She's dancing like. I saw that earlier. The clip today popped up on my thing. Kramer's like, "Whoa, what was that? Stop! What was that?" Like that. He's like, "What?" It's like, "I'm dancing." Like, no, that ain't dancing.
Yeah. What do you?
Oh. I've always enjoyed Seinfeld. I thought that was pretty hilarious. Yeah, everybody's out to get what they can get, but you know, it's humorous and how they do it. The whole one of my favorite scenes is the whole rental car thing, because I hate when you get a reservation for something and they mess it up and it's like, it's a reservation supposed to be here, and she's like, "We know what a reservation is." I don't think you do, because if you did, I would have the car.
It would be here.
He's like, "You know how to take the reservation? It's the whole part." But see, you'd have liked to see the finale, the series finale, because then they all got what you would have wanted to come. They all got in trouble.
No, they got to sit in a jail cell and continue to be stupid without getting slapped on an hourly basis. I'm sorry, there needs to be slaps on an hourly basis. Corporal punishment. I'm talking waterboarding. There's no excuse for them being able to continue to speak. Like, that's how much I hate them.
But yet you've seen the series finale, so you watched it the whole time.
I saw a clip of it online because someone was like, "Hey, those characters that you hate got put in jail," and I watched this little clip of them getting put in jail, and I said, "Yeah, it's not bad enough for them."
They didn't have YouTube back then, so you watched that live.
You watched it live.
That was 98. There was no YouTube in 98, and if it was, you were dealing with the 33.6 connection.
I wasn't watching the show. I probably saw that years after the show was done. In 98, fuck, I was in goddamn high school. I didn't give a shit about that show. I was watching.
So you're telling me
Player.
You watched Friends, but you didn't watch Seinfeld?
You know, it's odd. I don't mind. I'll laugh at some of their jokes, but Seinfeld I hated with a blinding fury, and I still do.
What about Cheers? You ever watch Cheers?
Cheers, I love.
Yeah. What about Night Court? You ever watch Night Court?
I love Night Court. That show's amazing.
But Dan was always about himself. But you don't hate Dan?
Yeah. He didn't upset me as much as the others.
Barney Miller? Do you like Barney Miller?
Oh, Barney Miller was a classic back then.
Barney Miller was the best.
Yeah, it was the best. Yeah.
I never really watched that one.
And then even Fish got his spinoff from Barney Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one.
Well, you were too young for Greatest American Hero, so I know you didn't watch that.
I did watch it, and it wasn't really my thing.
You watched like reruns. Your dad probably watched it.
No, he didn't like it either.
He didn't like it either?
No, he was like an Outer Limits Twilight Zone guy, so that's what I kind of grew up watching.
My dad didn't watch it. I do remember.
Yeah, my dad was all like sci-fi and stuff. So
yeah. I don't know. I still watch the it's funny, I told the wife the other day, I got Twilight Zone has something on like a marathon on Columbus Day or Indigenous People Day. I don't even know what day it is anymore. I don't know what side of fest people are on, but whatever day that is, I know I had to work, so it wasn't a holiday for me. But
I had off.
But Twilight Zone that thing on, and I'm like, I was working and I had to tune back. Like, how do I still get surprised by Twilight Zone episodes? I thought I'd seen all the Twilight Zone, right? Because this series has been over for like, 50 years? And I still have an episode pop up here and there where it's like, how have I not seen this episode?
I think it's New Year's Eve through New Year's Day. They run a whole marathon of that.
New Year's
for,
Eve
like,
and 4th of July.
Yeah.
Chu and I
my
are
brother
actually
watches it
watching
every year.
the,
I'm pretty sure he's seen them all.
yeah, Chu and I are actually watching the streaming on they're on Paramount Plus right now, all the
Yeah.
episodes. So we're actually watching that, and I haven't. We're halfway through season 2, and I haven't found an episode I haven't seen yet. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm pretty sure I've seen all of them at least 3 times.
I thought I'd seen them all, but yeah, then there was like one that came up, and I was like, I've not seen this one before. So, the Saints must be losing because JT's not happy with them right now.
13-0.
Yeah,
But they look good.
Forrest Gump,
Those throwback-
Shawshank Redemption.
Those throwbacks
Yeah.
look sweet on the Saints.
Haven't seen them.
Shawshank was a good one too, Vanessa.
Shawshank's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's really good.
Forrest Gump was actually the most reactionary Hollywood film since Birth of a Nation, written by a right-wing fanatic. Still good. It was good though. I liked it. It's kind of funny written by a right-wing fanatic because there's a lot of the liberal tones in it with it too. So
Yeah.
boomers, we can discriminately make fun of everyone. I don't know for whatever reason, the boomers and the Gen Zs or the millennials, y'all got the most beef out there or whatever. Like, y'all don't even worry about Gen X when that. It's like millennials and boomers go at it. They're like, okay, boomer.
Yeah.
That is a sentence that has never escaped my lips.
A lot of movies haven't aged well. Animal House is hot car. I still enjoy Animal House. I still crack up watching that movie.
I think
You can't change the tone of the movie because of the times have changed too. I mean, that's like one of the biggest things I don't like about like literary or movie types. Like when they go back and try to rewrite stuff out because people have a different thing with it, because you're taking a part of what was the history and when it was actually done.
Yeah.
I also feel like when you watch like movies like that they're absolutely garbage now, but it kind of takes you back from when you first watched. You know what I mean? Like it kind of sets you back in time when you like kind of nostalgic or whatever. You know.
I'll tell you what. Give me Blazing Saddles any day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some Mel Brooks because I die. I laugh so goddamn hard. I can't get over it.
When I played college baseball on our road trips on the bus, we'd watch Blazing Saddles pretty much every single road trip we took. I've probably seen that thing 5,000 times.
Oh heck yeah, it's so good.
Well, it's like on my phone. I got somehow.
But yeah, the producers. That was another really.
The producers, yeah.
Very
I got some
with the Springtime for Hitler in Germany, and they're singing the little happy song with all the kicks, and oh my god!
I mean, Spaceballs hit or on ice, so.
Yeah. I mean, I remember
not Spaceballs, History of the World. They were going to do Hitler on ice.
Yeah. My nephew is autistic, and he'll repeat everything. And like one day, he was flipping through, and Blazing Saddles was on, and he was like, "Oh, Cowboys and Indians." I'm like, "No, you're not repeating this." Uncle Dave will change the channel. You are not repeating this.
You should have just shown him the scene where it was Candygram for Mungo, Candygram for Mungo. Just that scene. Or possibly when she's singing on stage about how tired she is, because that was
tired, so tired.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Headley Lamar.
Yeah.
Where's my rubber ducky? Where's my rubber ducky?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah, some classics there.
Yeah.
But Mel Brooks is always great with the tongue in cheek. But it's funny, on Facebook, I got into something where I get like these reels that pop up now with scenes from All in the Family, and they still crap me up. Seeing they got the different clips from it and everything. As bad as they would be now, if you put them on, like the words they had, like for Archie Bunker, and I get the Jeffersons on there too. They'll pop up for stuff, and it's just like I'm like. Yeah, I mean it's more blunt, but it's funny. It's like it was having the fun of it. Yeah,
it's more blunt then, but it's still that like the same stuff that was happening. Then, still going on now. It's like it holds like you would never know it was even written back in the '80s or whatever. Whatever it was, it's like it was yesterday. It's like it was unreal. Like how many of those at home still. Yeah,
I'll be sitting there scrolling through and I get like these little things. I'll just start cracking up. Like Good Times, I'll get Good Times feed on there as well. It's just like, I remember this episode. Yeah. Maybe for my Saints cap, they'll play better. Always getting superstitious now.
Oh,
Here it goes.
300 ball connections is on a floppy disk over the telephone. 84. Oh, it took 2 days to connect. Yeah, for a 3-minute call. Back then, sending anything over the phone. Yeah, and then somebody picked up. You had to start all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Taxi.
Oh,
How can we
Yeah.
forget Taxi? Taxi was brilliant.
Oh,
Taxi was awesome.
Latka
What
was
do
my
you do when
favorite.
you get to a yellow light? Slow down. That's still
No,
the
got it,
funniest
got it.
scene in television history.
Oh,
Danny
no,
DeVito,
Latka,
Judd
yes.
Hirsch. Yeah.
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 Slow
was just classic.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. The Tony Danza was on there. Who's the Boss was on there. Right.
Oh,
So, yeah.
that one too.
Mary Lou Henner. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name that played Bobby. It was just like, they had a pretty good cast of people there.
Yeah.
And of course, you had Latka, Andy Kaufman playing him, which was a phenomenal comedian. So,
And Perfect Strangers. Chu and I like Perfect Strangers a lot.
Balky, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but Balky, you just don't forget that because it's not common. So Balky just stands
yeah,
out.
Balky's that's the one I can remember.
Actually, the guy who played Balky, he has like an online show where he bought like an entire town and he's fixing up all the houses.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing that he's doing now.
Huh.
He's redecorating all these old houses in this town. Like he bought all of them.
Was he
Oh,
in the
wow.
new Beverly Hills Cop? Because I haven't seen the new Beverly Hills Cop yet. Was he in that?
I believe he's in it too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's in it as well. I think everybody that was living that was in the old one is in this one. So
Okay. John Ashton just passed away like a week or so ago.
yeah. Well, yeah.
What was his name?
Yeah, he
Taggart. Yeah.
Yeah, Taggart. He passed away like right after John Amos passed away, and
Yeah.
James Earl Jones. It was like a rough, like all these people that were icons
Yeah.
back in the day, like just started going out. Like,
What was
do
the
they know that we don't
what
know?
was the World
They
War
only-
II sitcom, the comedy that was 9-9 and like the soldiers were all goofy and stuff. I can't remember.
Hogan's
what it was.
Heroes?
Hogan's Heroes?
Yeah, that one.
Or
like that
McHale's Navy. Hogan's Heroes?
Yeah, it was
When
Hogan's
they
Heroes.
were in the camp. They were in the camp
Yeah.
back then. And, yeah. And he's like, I know nothing. It was
I know
what
nothing.
was the sergeant's name? He'd be like, I know nothing. And they always like butter him up to get information from Clink.
That one
Now,
was
what,
really good too.
What's the one with Gomer Powell?
That was Gomer Pyle, but he started on Mayberry with Andy Griffiths.
Well, I know.
But then it was Gomer Pyle. It was Gomer Pyle USMC.
Called Gomer Powell.
Yeah,
I was thinking
yeah.
of something else for some reason. Okay.
Yeah. Him and Sergeant Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it had a different.
When you're the next kid, you were a latchkey kid, you caught on a lot of different shows back in the day because it was just you there after school and you're just like flipping through. Tell you what, though, I was home for 3:30 to see Thundercats. I wasn't missing that for nothing.
Thundercats.
That was the after school cartoon. You had to be there. And Transformers.
G.I. Joe's also.
G.I. Joe. Yeah.
love
I watched the
some-
original Star Trek when it came out with my dad. Yeah. Star Trek is a fascinating show in itself because it got canceled after the first season. But it seems like they had a lot more episodes than you carry in one season now. I mean, they changed kind of the way they do stuff.
Rolled
But yeah.
in to get it back. So they
Yeah.
wanted to cancel it after the first season, and like the fans wrote in. So I think it was like 3 seasons it was on total.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
Mike,
okay.
talking about the original.
Yeah, it was Shatner and Nimoy and
Yeah.
the original was Shatner and Nimoy on him.
Watch that religiously every Sunday.
Yeah. You always knew when the battle scene's about to happen because you be sitting there watching you'll be doing something. You hear din, 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 din. You hear the song coming like, oh, they're about to fight or something. You come running back in to make sure you caught it. Yeah, and you're like, they go down. We're going to beam down to the planet, and you see the one guy in the red shirt like, oh, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. You never go down if you're in a red shirt and you're not part of the original
horror
cast.
movie. Yeah, you ain't gonna make it. Yeah, Scotty was the only guy in a red shirt that lived.
Yeah. Scotty had some good Scots have been up on the Enterprise.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
had to beam him up, you know.
Yeah.
Scotty couldn't die. Everybody else is gonna die.
Scotty was that one worker, like, knew he could do more, but he's like, do I need to? Like, because he'd be like, I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. Like, knowing he had more he could give, but he's like, I'll see what we can do. I'm giving her what she got. I'll try, Captain. I'll try.
Did you guys ever see the shows that never were but should have been that Brian the Beer Snob did a couple years ago?
No.
He did one on, it was like Star Trek, but it was like beer based. Like the whole thing was about beer. And he actually had from Scotland, what's his name? Shoot, why am I blanking on his name?
Don.
Yeah, Don was Scotty in it. And like everyone filmed from their own locations, and then Brian did like the green screen, the background stuff, but
Yeah.
like everybody was on the ship and like doing all their different things, and he had like a whole episode that was all beer based. It was really, really funny. If you haven't seen it, you've got to check it out.
I'll have to look at that. That's pretty funny.
Brian did an awesome job on that. And Don was hilarious as Scotty. Like I was crying because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, New Year's Day with the Twilight Zone. My six are way more varied than the Gen X. Animal House, our school's auditorium curl had so many pencils stuck in it. Oh, you speak of old things back then too that probably you could say didn't age as well. Probably like Porky's, you could probably put on. Porky's was hilarious back in the day to watch, but nowadays people probably get all upset with some of the stuff that was happening there. You know, why they call her Lassie? Get her into the rafters, you'll find out. Oh, I could just see it again. I know I can identify it. We are not having those men coming in here with their pants. Principal would call the school meeting to curl in, fit a couple hundred pencils thrown into the time before it started. Yeah, that Animal House scene when the horse dies, that's like one just stuck in your head there. And the horse has a heart attack.
Oh,
yeah.
Frankenstein! I love that movie.
Frankenstein.
You go there. Yeah.
I apologize. Victor Frankenstein.
What about Stir Crazy? Back in the day with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. That was a great movie back then.
Yeah. We bad.
Stir Crazy was good.
Pedophilia, racism, not to mention misogyny now with cruelty, but that's yeah, I mean that's all part of the time though. So you can't erase it. It's part of the history. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hogan's Heroes, yeah, called Clink. McHale's Navy. Yeah, McHale's Navy was good with Ernest Borgnine and Tim Conway.
Yeah.
20 plus episodes. Season, but now 10. Yeah, nowadays 10. Like some seasons like 8 for shows.
Yeah, 8.
Which I just finished like what season I just finished? Well, I started watching The Penguin, so I'm only like 4 or 5 into that one. But I just finished Industry, and that was 8 seasons, or 8 shows rather. And then it's just amazing. Like nowadays, it's like they're, we're talking sports about the whole load management. Like they're load managing shows now. Like what the hell? Like that's it. Like you gotta wait till like next year to see what happens next. Like I'm not a fan of load management in sports at all. So he goes, happens in threes. Yeah. Well, it happened more than threes when all these celebrities are dying a couple weeks ago for sure.
Yeah.
Always bet on how the red shirts bite the dust. Yeah. Yeah. Which red shirt is going to die on this one?
All
3
of them?
plus 3 seasons plus 2 versions of the pilot. Not Scotty though. Not Scotty. Not a day goes by when I don't ask myself, what would Bob Crane do? Sex fiend and Great American. Yeah, he did have an issue there. He might have been a little like David Carradine in some ways. Was it David Carradine or Keith Carradine? Which one?
Well, David Carradine did all the fighting stuff, right?
Yeah, but one of them went a little too far. A little bit of a, the boom room.
Oh,
I can't remember David or Keith. Yeah, it was David. Though David's the one that hung. Well, he didn't hang himself on purpose, but asphyxiation got the best of him.
I'm pretty sure.
Just a little too tight. I met Scotty at a couple turkey conventions one time. So yeah, I bet he could throw back some whiskey. The guy to play Scotty.
Oh yeah.
Can't remember his name now offhand. Actually, still this day is the best ghost song intro ever by Bob James.
I think it might have been James Doohan or something Doohan.
It's not Bob James.
Doohan for Scotty.
Oh, James Doohan. You're right. That is for Scotty. You're right. Yeah. Yep. James Doohan. Oh God, but that's a Flipper. Flipper was as a little kid. I'd actually watch Flipper. That's way back in the day. That was like black and white or whatever. So, yeah, Flipper the dolphin.
That dolphin was smarter than all the humans on that show.
Dolphins are probably still smarter than all the humans in real life.
It's like actually
Wait,
still
what's
are.
the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? So long and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.
Your pet's about to explode. See you guys. Bye. Fish. Have a good one.
I was funny. I was nothing. I was on Facebook earlier, so it was like this little meme, and it had like in today's age, like you kids watch the craziest stuff or whatever. And it said, then on the bottom it was like, meanwhile, back in 1985, and it was Pee Wee's Playhouse, and he was like eating breakfast. I was like, oh yeah, we did watch some flipped out stuff too.
Pee
Yeah,
Wee's Playhouse was amazing though.
he's got little eggs on his plate. He is in a happy face with little eggs, a little bacon mouth or whatever. He's like, hey, Mr. Bacon. Remember, he's like, oh, you want some Mr. T? Let me get the Mr. T. He's like, I pity you, fool. He's pouring Mr. T cereal. Like, yeah, we did watch some weird stuff back then. Yeah.
Yeah, I always loved Cherry, the little chair, and then Terry, the pterodactyl. Right, there was the chair that would talk and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, that shit! And then the chick that would always show up and like hit on him.
Yeah. Was that Dottie? Was her name Dottie that would do that, or was it Dottie from the movie? That was his friend.
Dottie was in the movie.
Yeah,
Dottie's in the movie. Okay, yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne was in the TV show.
Lawrence Fishburne was in a TV show. Yes, he was. Lawrence Fishburne was, I believe he was only 16 when he did Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
And then I guess they lied on his age or whatever, but he ended up getting that role. But he's like only 16. With Apocalypse Now, for anybody that's seen Apocalypse Now, a lot of the stuff back then, a lot of those guys were method actors. So when they were imitating the drugs, a lot of them were doing the drugs.
Yeah.
They're method actors, man. Method actors.
Yeah. Rob Zombie got to start on Pee Wee's Playhouse. Make you think.
I liked the genie too in the little box, and he would Mechaleka High, Mecca Ho, or whatever it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I always liked the genie too.
Yeah,
that show was so messed up. I love it. It's like an acid trip show.
But you know what it's like? Grew up at the time. Growing up for me as a kid, like in the 70s, growing up watching Speed Racer. If you go back, you watch the Speed Racer cartoon now as an adult, look at that and tell me like somebody was not doing drugs trying to figure out that cartoon. Like somebody was definitely. So we grew up there was guys doing cocaine or whatever when they were making our shows back in the day, because you can definitely tell. I mean, we all know about the Smokey and the Bear commercial. We know how that all went, right? Like,
yeah, we might have heard that one twice.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet, a place where animals play. It's called the forest, but every year we start forest fires. A careless match, a cigarette, and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
I mean, we grew up with that kind of program. What do you expect from us down the line?
So I remember my childhood being heavily influenced by He-Man, She-Ra, Thundercats, and Animaniacs. Those were my go-to ones. Those were the ones that hit me the hardest. And Rainbow Bright.
Oh, Rainbow Bright, yeah.
Yeah, I was a Rainbow Bright fan for sure.
Would you wear the Transformers at all, or?
You know, I didn't like the action cartoons as much. I liked the happier ones, or I guess Thundercats, He-Man, and She-Ra were all action ones, weren't they? But,
was now thinking about Transformers. I don't know if they had any female like leads in there, really.
Not really, no.
I don't think they ever did, really, with Transformers. I mean, you had like Thundercats, you had Chitara, so you had a female lead with her. And like G.I. Joe, you had some female characters. But I think Transformers never had really a female. I don't know if they still have it in a movie nowadays. Even they have a female robot.
Can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think they do. Not that
I remember as a kid, the Thundercats had toys you could buy that was interactive with the screen. It was like some kind of red.
Oh yeah.
What it is.
Yeah.
So that was Chitara and Pumira, the Puma one. So Chitara and Pumira were the girls.
Yeah. My favorite was Panthero though, because he had the nunchuck. So that was
Yeah, Lionel was kind of a wuss, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Lionel was like, he was supposed to be in charge, but they always had to keep saving him. I feel like Lionel was in charge, but then Panthera had to save his ass. It's kind of like Star Trek. Kirk was in charge. We knew Spock should have been in charge. Even though Kirk was in charge, it should have been Spock that should have been running the shit. But
Hydra was pretty cool with the invisibility.
Hydra was cool. Yeah. Yeah. Thundercats was the bomb for sure. Thundercats is the shit. Yeah. They were supposed to be doing a live action movie a few years back, but it never got done.
Thundercats had nothing on the Wonder Twins. Power of water. Boom.
When I was a kid, was I the only kid like that watched Super Friends and like every time the boy would do something had to be water related?
Yeah.
Like, he'd be like an ice pick, or he'd be like a bucket of water, or he'd be like an ice slide. I'm like, why is he always like water? She's a hawk, she's a horse, she's something else, but she's got to transport him somewhere so he can like
a whore?
She's a whore?
Of course. That was a deep undercover job for that episode.
Oh.
Fucking Wendy, you fucking slut. Yeah.
I know, right? Jeez.
But the big mystery with Super Friends back then is why was Superman always flying with Wonder Woman? Superman could fly.
Well, now we
and
know.
Batman and Robin would drive. We know a car cannot keep up with a plane, so why weren't Batman and Robin flying with Wonder Woman to go wherever they're going to? And Superman could just easily fly outside the plane.
I want to know about
something was happening behind the clouds. That's all I'm saying.
Plane. What else did she have?
No, they turned the jet invisible, but can't you still see the people like sitting in their seats eating their peanuts in there? That would be really funny if they're all just in a seated position eating peanuts flying through the sky and you don't see the jet around them. I would like that a lot. It should have been that way.
Yeah. Funny thing about Super Friends, if you don't know, Todd, I don't know if you know, or you may know, but in Cincinnati, there's actually a museum, and that was what the Hall of Justice was based off of.
Oh,
so
really?
if you ever go there, when you see it, you're like, that's like Super Friends. Yeah, that was where they actually came up with the idea for it to be the Hall of Justice there. And Trez knows what I'm talking about. It's
did not know that.
Yeah. So it's actually pretty cool there. But yeah, that was one of those mysteries. Why is Superman always flying with Wonder Woman? And how are Batman and Robin arriving at the same time as Wonder Woman in the jet when they're driving? It's one of those things like.
If he's outside the jet, how are they going to hold a conversation? Really?
He's Superman. He can do a bunch of things. He's Superman.
It's just easier if he's just in the jet and they can have a conversation without all the wind noise because the wind is noisy. I mean, come on. It makes more sense.
As a kid watching Super Friends, I always enjoyed when you knew shit was about to hit the fan. Because then it'd be like, we got to go against, I forgot what the name of the bad guys were, but they'd be like, okay, we're bringing in Green Arrow. We're bringing in, or Green Lantern. We're bringing in, Green Arrow. We're bringing in Flash. They're bringing in the other people. Like, oh, this is going to be a good episode right here because they got to go out and they got to outsource, get the other guys in on this one. So they're going to get Solomon Grundy or some shit on this episode. Yeah. This is going to be the real deal, Super Friends.
The real deal.
And again, Aquaman, what are you doing over there? What are you doing? We have no use for water here. We got Wonder Twin that can turn into water. So why do we need you?
No.
Are you going to control the Wonder Twin if he turns into water? Like, what's happening? So yeah.
Yeah, he was just kind of.
Somebody watched Captain Planet. Did somebody tell me?
Yes, Captain Planet. Did see Captain Planet?
Yeah. The one that had all the good messages at the end, and I'm like, no, skip the messages. Let's have some fun. Bust something up. Let's go, guys. What are you doing?
Right. Well, kids, I got to get up in the morning, so I'm going to bid an early good night. So you guys have a great rest of the show. Rod, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir. It's great to have you as well. Make sure to check out Dave Davis. I mean, we're all 3 out of 4 of us got to get up in the morning stuff, but Dave got to get up a little earlier and we got to get up too to go to work and stuff.
4:30 in the morning comes awfully early. Yeah.
Dave, reach out to me about the hop stuff or the
weed water.
Yeah, weed water. Yes. Thank you.
I will text you. Yes, we will do a collaborative episode. Yes.
That'd be fun. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Have a great night. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. I'll see you guys later.
Easy.
All right, Dave. Have a good one, sir.
You too.
Yeah, Trez, Deep Cover was awesome back in the day.
Deep Cover, that was good.
Yeah. That was so funny when it came out with the theme song with 187. Everybody's like after Snoop and Dre. And people were like, if you ever see the movie, like the song relates right to the movie. So, yeah. If you knew me, would you have listened? Right? I'm going to start saying that around the house, right? Yeah, I mean, that was probably the most laid back, casual Smokey the Bear commercial that was ever run. Like, yeah. He's like, I know how to get their attention. Johnny Quest. I loved watching some Johnny Quest there too. Yeah.
And actually, I liked Space Ghost Coast to Coast when that came out.
Space Ghost, yeah.
The original Space Ghost was great, but the Coast to Coast was funnier. Gotta say.
Yeah, the Captain Caveman.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Captain Caveman was the best.
Then he ended up on the Flintstones. Like, how do you get Captain Caveman on the Flintstones? I mean, well, I guess you can't go back to prehistoric times. I guess, worlds collided. Yeah. I did watch the Avengers series, although Vanessa's talking about the different Avengers series, I think, with the British actors, which was actually a pretty cool show back in the day. Aquaman is there for hydrating the heroes, right? So basically, an adapted Aquaman's running around like Water Boy. Get some of this mighty fine H2O.
I loved Underdog too. And
See, there's another one. Underdog was a druggie that had to get his fix before he could save the day.
Yeah.
That's what they taught us back then. The Scooby Gang, they were getting high in the back of a van as they were solving mysteries. They were seeing stuff that wasn't there because they were high.
For sure.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have gotten away with it if it weren't for those pesky kids.
Yeah.
So.
Well, really, Frank was a Velma because she was the fifth wheel. Was it Velma or Thelma? Velma. We knew what Fred and Daphne were doing.
Yeah.
And we knew Shaggy and Scoob was just trying to get some food, get the weed, taken care of.
Well, what do you think those Scooby snacks relate with?
Who knows what they were doing also?
Yeah. They did sometimes pass out together. That's true.
No, Velma was just there to babysit, honestly. She spent all her time babysitting those mofos. They were terrible.
But all you had to do is knock her glasses off and she couldn't see shit.
She couldn't see shit. She's worse than Mr. Magoo when her glasses came off. Yeah.
It's that Twilight Zone episode where he finally has time to read, but he breaks his glasses. Time enough at last?
I saw that one too. Yeah, that was a good one.
That's one of my favorite episodes of all time.
Yeah.
But you break your glasses after a nuclear bomb goes off, you're fucked, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He had no problem glasses. It was done.
Yeah. I mean, you could teach yourself to be an optometrist, I guess, if you have the material. Because you can't read. I mean, you have to really.
Well, everything was busted. He couldn't teach himself shit.
And he couldn't see anything. Like everything was just so blurry for him. Yeah. Space Ghost, yeah. Let's see my day. The 60s Spider-Man, all-time classic. The Horn and the Rhino, all-time classic. It was the first Spider-Man I think I remember even watching was the Electric Company Spider-Man back in the day. As a little kid, yeah.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah. And then it was like Spider-Man. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
I remember watching
Reading Rainbow back.
Spider-Man was going to be on there. I was like, oh, I hope he's on there.
What'd you say, Val?
I said I want Reading Rainbow back.
Reading Rainbow. Yeah.
And, he actually, it must have been like 5 years ago, but he came out with a podcast where he was reading books.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Reading Rainbow thing, but yeah, he was doing a podcast where he was reading books aloud. I was like, yes, Reading Rainbow has returned.
Nothing beats Twilight Zone in terms of weird shit old people watch still best. It was some interesting. The storylines on Twilight Zone were just like they were just interesting. They got like all good actors like on all the different shows. Like I mean, when you go back and you watch the shows, like all the people they were casting were like big actors at the time, right? So it was kind of like a Saturday Night Live type thing to be on. And you had to be somebody type thing. Yeah.
Well, Rod Serling actually wrote a lot of the scripts himself. I actually have a book of his screenplays that he wrote for a lot of the shows. He didn't write all of them, of course, but many of them, including Time Enough at Last with the glasses, that was one of his.
Mm-hmm.
But he was incredible. Like his story writing was beautiful. So love the show.
And Doctor Who was another one. I watched it when I was younger. I got out of it later on. My wife watches it still, when it's on nowadays.
I'm
I
scared
think
to
she
watch
got
it.
she got out of it a couple years ago. I think a little bit more since they had the new Doctor. But she used to watch Christmas special and all kinds of stuff. And
I never.
when you watch it, it always had good writing. It was like Star Trek. It had stuff that kind of you could see coming into play nowadays, right? It was like that undertone of the show. Even though it was set in the sci-fi universe, there was a way you could relate to it, which made it such a good show to watch.
I never watched Doctor Who. I just remember on Big Bang Theory, they were always watching the shit out of Doctor Who. All the time.
I'm scared to watch Doctor Who.
Why?
I have a tendency when I find a new show to get a little obsessed, and Doctor Who's been going since the 70s, and I'm a completionist
60s.
as well. Oh, so-
60s.
Is
Yeah.
I'm
It's the longest running show in the world.
I'm a completionist, so I would have to go back and watch every single episode because that's what I do. So I've always been too scared to let myself watch the show because I know that I would have to see every single one and any commentary and any extras and everything. It's bad. So I
Well, it would definitely be in a lot of stuff out there for you to watch. It'd be a pretty big library, so you can definitely do it. But yeah,
I don't have time. I don't have time to take on a new show. It wouldn't work out for me very well.
Yeah. So they got to catch, like, new shows got to catch me when they can catch me for sure. If they don't catch me in early, I probably won't get to them. Like, that's why I've never watched 24, and I never watched the drug one with the guy that used to be on Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah, Breaking Bad, but now I started watching The Penguin. I'm caught up on The Penguin because that's kind of got my interest going.
Only Murders in the Building is amazing, just so you know.
I've never seen that one. I've heard good things about it, just never sat down and watched it.
Absolutely phenomenal. I didn't think Selena Gomez could keep up with Martin Short and Steve Martin.
Oh, yes.
I didn't think she could pull that off. She does. She actually, is great as a straight man to those two. Oh my God, she's amazing. She does such a good job. I was shocked.
She is really good. Yeah, that's a good show.
I just want Chevy Chase to do an appearance so you can have the Three Amigos moment.
Oh yeah.
No appearance from Chevy Chase. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big asshole now, so I don't know.
That's what people say. That's what people say about him. Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, they say he's
supposedly Bill Murray is too, I think, but
he's gotten a little weird in his old age. I'll give him that.
They're kind of like Seinfeld characters now. I heard.
He did that movie where he was searching the deep or whatever, right?
They're like Seinfeld characters now, Mal.
No, he did that movie where he was like the submarine and he was searching the deep. He was that deep sea diver, famous guy.
Bill Murray.
Yes. He
did. Like Jack Cousteau or something?
Yes, he did the Cousteau movie. And from that point on, he just got weirder and weirder, right?
Yeah.
Because he was a little strange in that movie anyway. And
I do want to see the Saturday Night Live movie they came out with, though, like from when that was actually launched. Like hard to believe, like 50 years, but they just did the movie on it, and they got like the people playing early Chevy Chase and John Belushi and Aykroyd, and I think the guy that runs it, can't remember his name now, Michael whatever, but was it
Michael Oren?
Yeah. So apparently, like all the stuff from when they first had it and how they were pretty much, because he was only like 20 something when he was like the producer getting this all done and stuff, and it's like it almost came that close to failing, and they were going live anyway with it and all kinds of stuff. So I feel like that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one.
Plays a smelly dog laugh, right? Yeah, the dog, the dog. I can't do it right now because I'm laughing, but I know what you're talking about there. Yeah. He's always scare people to start laughing. 2 episodes of the Time Tunnel series from the 60s a few months ago. There was actually another movie, a show I was supposed to be watching too, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's a time travel movie. I got to go back and watch that, or show. I keep saying movie.
Oh, here's a TV show. Monty Python. Heck yeah. Flying Circus.
Oh, that was a show back.
Ever.
So the funny thing, there was a Monty Python, the Flying Circus came out. These come on like at 11:30 at night or whatever, I guess. And like back then in the 70s, early 80s, I think it was like 70s really, parents would be like, put us to sleep. Like they didn't want so you couldn't watch because it was more a lot more adult humor, like Benny Hill type humor and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like so we had to sneak around to be able to see it and stuff. But yeah.
So
Nowadays it'd be so tame.
My dad told me stories of watching Monty Python and trying to talk to like coworkers and friends about the show. And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, they were having these Olympics for like injured people, and they were all bandaged up, and they had to do like hurdles, but some of them had casts, and they were like running, and this one guy had a diaper on his head, and they were like doing this thing." And he said all of his friends thought he was the craziest fucking person because he found British humor funny. And I was like, "Yeah, I can see that. I can see that." This is an accident. I understand. Dad said,
so the Monty Python stuff.
Friends who would watch Monty Python with him.
Yeah,
they just thought he was nuts for thinking it was funny.
it was the British humor. Benny Hill was that way. And it was
Well,
just because of classic humor.
Because you never knew when that pajama party would crop up all of a sudden.
Yeah. And that's what you were waiting on too.
So much talk about girdles.
I still remember the song and everything. Yeah. A plunger works for plunger would actually work for Dalek weapon. That's Doctor Who right there. Around chasing her brothers. Watching it from all the beginning. Admire them once in a photo. Yeah. So I mean, you watch it from the beginning. You've seen a lot with the Doctor Who series, but it's just tough to imagine they've written that show for as long as they have, and they've always kept a good fan base from it. Life Aquatic was a good movie. Lost in Translation was a bit gratuitous. Yeah, Lost in Translation was kind of a weird type one out there. I never saw the Life Aquatic. That's the one you're talking about now. But
yeah, that was
Lost in Translation when he was like over, I think it was in Japan where he was. It was kind of a different type feel. Sliders was good. I do remember I used to watch the show Sliders. I did like that one there. And what was the other one that had? They got a remake of it now, but Scott Bakula's show back in the day when he would go different people's bodies.
Quantum Leap.
Yeah, Quantum Leap, like the original Quantum Leap. I thought that was a good show. I haven't watched the remake of it.
That was phenomenal. They tackled a lot of like racism and sexism and a lot of different things because all of a sudden he found himself as a black woman or as an old woman, and like he had to deal with all the things and changing bodies. So,
I never actually watched that one.
It was great.
It was good.
It was really well done.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I told you, but I finished them season 2, and that was actually pretty good. So now my glass beer for power plays my new favorite beer, a 7.5 Baltic Porter by Off Color. Nice. It's a Quantum Leap, and I do need to go get a beer. I need to leap and get a beer because my glass is empty as well. So
can you make it a quantum leap and not just a leap, please?
A quantum leap, I will try. I could quantum leap into a brewer's body and make a new beer nobody ever heard of, and then come back.
You're gonna have to step up your leap game.
I shall return.
Oh.
All the fun shows. So many fun shows.
So now, did you have to work tonight?
I did not today.
Okay.
I was running a smidge late because I had the stove running. I the Imperfect Foods thing where they send you foods that weren't good enough for like the grocery stores and stuff.
Yeah, when they send you like
She and I signed up for that a long time ago, and the last 6 months I've kind of just been like canceling our orders and not having stuff come in. I kind of missed this one. So we got this random delivery that I didn't actually pick the groceries on. And it had like 3 pounds of kale.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm not a huge kale fan. I've had it in smoothies and it's fine a couple times, but kale it takes forever to cook down and it's not the tastiest of all vegetables. Right, yeah. I know it's good for you, but So I made a soup tonight with corn, kidney beans, chicken, mushroom soup, celery soup, and a lot of spices. But I made a kale soup tonight. And it was still kind of cooking as we were getting close to 7, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get upstairs, but I couldn't, come up here with the stove still on. So
so how'd it turn out, or did you try it?
I did try it. Actually, it turned out quite good, but you have to cook the kale for like 2 hours for it to be like
Long time, yeah.
easy to the tooth. I like because it's so crisp all the time. Like cooking it, like spinach is easy to cook down. Give it 10 minutes and spinach is soft
just
in your soup. Yeah, but kale takes a hell of a lot longer. So it was like 2 hours of simmering before it was like soft enough to make me happy as a food.
Haven't had it a ton, but I don't think don't recall really liking it either. So
honestly, the soup I made with all the spices and how I did the broth and everything, it turned out really, really good.
So
but again, I had to cook it for fucking ever. Like I started the soup at probably 4:45, and by the time I finished eating my bowl of soup, I was late coming up here at 7. So I did my best, but it turned out really tasty. It really did.
What was it?
I made a kale soup today, and I'm not overly fond of kale, but I had 3 pounds of it delivered to me, and I had to do something with it. So I made a soup.
I don't think I've ever heard of kale soup before.
They have a lot of recipes on the internet, and I was looking at them, but I didn't have most of the ingredients that they were asking for, so I had to kind of makeshift it myself. It turned out really tasty, though.
3 pounds sounds like a lot, but I'm sure
it was a lot. It was too fucking much kale. I still have half a pound that I don't know what to do with, so I'm just like sitting thinking about this half a pound of kale that's still in my fridge going, I couldn't put any more in the soup because it was just too much. So the soup turned out nice. Chew will try it when he gets home, and we'll see. So
I go pot of chicken soup, clam chowder.
Chowder.
I'm
gonna get in the car and I'm gonna get me some clam chowder. Make sure you close the door.
Park the car at Harvard Yard and pay a quarter for the chowder, right? Park
the car over at Harvard Yard, and we're gonna get some chowder.
A quarter for the chowder.
Yeah. It'll be wicked cool. Clam chowder to get in the freezer. There you go. I like some good clam chowder. I like some lobster bisque too.
I like the white clam chowder though, not the red.
Yeah. No, that's interesting there too. I have to check that out, Everson, for sure. Feudal stupid gesture. Yeah, they were definitely the National Lampoon. I think they used to relate to that some back in the day as well, like with National Lampoon.
Well, National Lampoon had the European Vacation with the slap dance and all the things, and
Van Wilder. That was National Lampoon. They had some other. These had some National Lampoon movies. I don't know what ended up happening. I guess they kind of separated them out from the studio, but National Lampoon still have a magazine as well back in the day. I think
National Lampoon was the Vacation, where they had to go to Wally World, and they killed the grandma and all the stuff. And then they had the Christmas one, which
did you say killed the grandma?
Well, the grandma died in the car, but yeah.
But that wasn't a grandma. That was an aunt, though.
Was she an aunt?
Yeah, she was an aunt. She was the wife's aunt, I believe. Remember, in Christmas Vacation, all their grandparents are alive. They're all alive.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't kill her. She just happened to die. I mean, her and the dog both. The dog scene is one of the funniest things
because they left the leash hooked to the bumper.
That was pretty bad. The cop pulls up.
And the Vegas Vacation. They have the Vegas Vacation too. Mr. Papadopoulos won 4 cars.
Oh yeah.
And then the European Vacation was probably my favorite because Eric Idle kept getting hit by them in it while he was riding a bike. And
I don't know how that's consensus wise, that's seen as one of the worst ones, but
I loved it.
I don't know why.
Vacation made me happy with the slap dance in Germany. I just about laughed myself stupid on that one.
I'm thinking the scene when he's talking to the woman at the counter, with the lingerie, and she's like getting cuts up high, kind of like Rusty walks up and he's like, "Hey, Rusty."
Yeah, And then when they were in London and they got stuck in the circle around Big Ben.
Yeah,
and
going around.
Kids, Big Ben. Look, kids, Big Ben. Because they
Big
couldn't
Ben,
get out of the
Norway.
roundabout.
He's just laughing hysterically like,
And in France, when he threw his hat off of the Eiffel Tower and the dog jumped for it. By the way, in that movie, he throws the hat, the dog jumps for it, the dog lands in water at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower. There is no water at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower. That is all cement. That dog was dead meat, just so you know. I've been to the Eiffel Tower. There was no water underneath it. That was a dead fucking dog.
They put it on the roof of the station wagon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, they put her on the roof of the station wagon. That was hilarious.
Oh, gosh, yeah. SNL stole the entire National Lampoon radio staff. Many writers actually shocking what man did back. No, I didn't realize that. I just remember like National Lampoon. I thought they kind of related to that, but make some kale smoothies, Mal. There you go.
there you go. Yeah.
I mean, I don't actually have any fresh fruit to make smoothies with at the moment. I have some frozen berries. I suppose I could do those.
Cat biting a tree by wires.
Oh, the cat got burned up.
Yeah. The squirrel in the Christmas tree.
Oh, the squirrel.
Having into it.
And then the swimming pool, Melekliki Maka is the thing to say. Oh, man.
Oh, so funny.
Was it Ed, the cousin or whatever? And he's out there in that tiny little robe with the thing going down.
Shit, Swole Clark, what are you going to do? Yeah.
And see, the actress who played Elaine was the next door neighbor, and I didn't mind her in that movie.
Yeah, I was going to say, she was in the movie too.
Basis. It's just in Seinfeld. Those actors are fine, but in Seinfeld, I hated them.
But some people they didn't like. I can't remember who told me it. Was it Shannon? Maybe that didn't like George Costanza. Somebody said they didn't like George, even when he played on other stuff. They didn't like him because Jason Alexander, because they used to see him as George Costanza the whole time.
Jason Alexander a lot of times he's kind of typecast. He ends up like Shallow Hal. He was the same character and a couple other things. But I've seen him in other stuff that I didn't mind.
He's a Broadway actor too. He's won like Tony's there, like doing stuff too. So yeah, I
don't mind him per se. I just hated his character in Seinfeld. That's all.
Yeah, there's some technical stuff going on there. Todd, what's happening?
Well, now so I use her iPad. So somebody was calling in. So she has an iPhone. So it shows up and it just froze. I don't know what happened.
It's like you got the old connection from back in the 90s.
Dial up.
Wonder what Todd's doing right now.
Oh, God.
Todd's internet service, folks. Todd's internet service.
Why would you do this?
I'm not even sure it's that good.
No. Make it stop.
Shannon, I'm on the computer right now.
Yeah. One song on answer. It took me 24 hours, and then you pick up the phone right when it's going to end. Like, no, what are you doing? Don't do that.
We'll have to send you that file tomorrow. I went and grabbed another beer, but I'm going to sit for a bit here. But it is Great Lakes Barrel Aged Blackout Stout. And I'm going to
yummy.
sit back and enjoy 12.5% ABV. So I had to get back up to my regular level. Get your game up, son.
I've not had the barrel aged of that one.
Yeah, I was going to say this for review too, but again, it's clean out fridge time at this point. So
that's why I was doing it. I was like, let me grab something we don't have to do a review on. So I was like, okay, I grab it.
There's so much beer out there. You can always find something you want to review, right? So I'm like, well, I'm just going to drink it. Yeah. So I'll be drinking that here in a second or two. But
I didn't know I had a barrel aged one version of it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Or as Dave would say in Storage Wars, yup. That show cracked me up back in the day. Same as not on anymore. Except the reruns you can still watch. But
I always liked watching that.
Yeah. So I didn't get this when Dave was here, but I did one thing there. So of course, this coming off this week, Great American Beer Fest. So is this like the short answer is probably yes, as far as being a premier festival for craft beer. But I almost feel like for some it may not be, because there's like some breweries that just opt not to go to Great American Beer Fest now. So I don't know if it's always showcasing some of the best beers. When you think about some of the breweries around the country that don't go, but like you've had or you've been to, you're like, well, the people that win, you're like, well, this beer could have competed with that one if you've had it. And you guys still, I mean, is it still I guess it's still the premier festival, but is it carry the same weight today as it did years ago? Just a question.
I say it probably is, just because of the name and everybody relates to that one.
Mm-hmm.
In actuality, I'm with you. I'm like, there's so many different festivals and everything along, in the regions or whatever. Like, I don't think that one is like this, end all be all or whatever.
Right.
And maybe it is. I don't know.
So the name carries a lot of clout, and I do believe that makes a difference. However, I am very close with owners of a lot of very small breweries who are just day to day trying to make sure that they're paying all their bills.
Right.
And this last year, I had the fun task of setting up all the stuff that Ravinia was sending to the Great American Beer Fest, and it's expensive as hell.
It is.
You have to send, first of all, you're losing a sixtel that could have brought you in money. Second of all, you have to set aside specific ones. You have to label them very specifically. You have to follow all these rules, and you have to have them shipped to a certain spot so that they can do all the things. Everything's very specific. You pay for your own shipping. Everything is on you. And then the entry fee itself is ridiculously high. It's several $100s to enter one beer, and then a couple $100 extra to enter multiple beers past that for each one. So
right.
The cost does stop a lot of the smaller breweries from being even remotely involved in it. I think that's a big deal, in the fact that a lot of the smaller breweries who might have a better pale ale than everybody else wouldn't bother to compete. For example, Choose Brewery Liquid Love, which has 4 employees total, they can't send stuff to the Great American Beer Fest. They don't have that
right.
kind of, situation where they're able to. I think they do really well in a few of the categories, but they don't have the capability.
Right.
So it's I feel like the cost itself. Now, I understand that the festival needs a certain amount of money to run, but they're making a shit ton of money off ticket sales alone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They really need to harbor or hamper the breweries that would enter with those fees when they're already making stupid amounts of money. So I'm kind of a love-hate with them right now, because I know how hard it is to pay all those fees when you're literally, when your bills are stupid and you brought in $700 on a Friday night that's a super busy night, and you only brought in $700, and you're thinking, well, how the hell am I paying electric then? So
right.
I don't know. I get a little angry about it at times, but
I think you're right. I don't
the comprehensive one.
I don't think it's a representation. I just think it's a kind of a pat yourself on the shoulder type things. Like, okay, so we submitted a beer, we got bronze, whatever. So we finished top 3 of, and who knows how many actually participants were in that category. I mean, there's 50 something categories or something like that, right?
Even more than that. It's like 100 plus categories they have there. Yeah.
It's a lot of categories.
And so just because you got bronze, I mean, there might only been 4 people in that category is what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that you're paying all that money for what reason.
Well, the funny thing is, being at a brewery that has won in the past, so we got bronze in pale ale for Ravinia, 3 years ago? It actually did bring in a hell of a lot of money to the brewery, because all the people in the Chicagoland area that pay attention to beer had to come and try our beer.
Well, that's
they heard about it. Yeah.
There was definitely an uptick in sales following winning that award. And I know So Hopped got a silver for their alt beer 2 years ago, and they saw an uptick in their sales from it. And I mean, you do get extra business.
But how long did that last? Do you know? When they won that?
Well, honestly, I still have my staff telling people, "Oh yeah, this beer won a bronze at the Great American Beer Fest 3 years ago," and people are like, "Oh yeah, I want that one then."
No, I get that, but you're saying people were coming from all over just because of that reason. How often does that happen?
It was probably about until the next event happened and other people won. So about a year of higher than usual sales on a.
But you always have that to tip your cap on. It's like, okay, so we won this at that, So I mean, that's still a great thing to say.
Well, yeah, my staff it's easier to sell that beer to people who know beer because of that,
Absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the people know
sales,
if they know that it's won a medal, it's going to be an intriguing type part of it. Like, let me see how this beer actually tastes type thing, right? So
you also have to think about the back end sales, because after you win any medal and you happen to be Chicagoland area, for example, all of those tap rooms that have like 90 taps and have beers from all over, they're calling you for barrels or half barrels. They're calling you because you made it on the board for a winner for the Chicagoland area. We have to have your beer. So there's a lot of back end sales that actually make it kind of worth it, but only if you get a medal. If you don't get a medal, you've just wasted all this money, and you're getting
right. That's what I was going to say.
You have to actually win, and a lot of those smaller breweries that would be hard strapped to pay those fees aren't going to take that risk because they need that money for their electric bill or their hot water bill or whatever they're paying, So it's kind of hard. It's only bigger places that can really compete there.
Well, the other part of it too is because one of the knocks I have against it is it stays, and it's good for Denver's economy, but it stays in Denver. So if you're out favored toward the West Coast, you have more of an option to actually taking a part in it than if you're on the East Coast per se, because it's a lot more costly for you to get out there in that regard. And if it should be a tradition where 1 year is out west, 1 year is out east, try to mix it back and forth, because then I think you get a larger sampling of beers from around the country.
Well, you can some people competition without sending a representative. You don't have to.
No, you can do that, but I think you're more apt to have people that might be in the East. I know breweries in the East that wouldn't do it because they feel like it wouldn't be worth it. That if it was there, it might be okay. Well, we'll enter this year since it's going to be on our part of the country, and it's going to be a lot easier or a lot more cost effective for us to maybe do so. Or if they're doing it like in Philadelphia, so now you might have some breweries that'll say, well, we can go down to Philly. That's just a car ride for us, right? Versus having to pay people to fly out and stay out there and do. So I just think it becomes like a West Coast more type thing. And then when you see like this year, it was dominated. I would say the two biggest numbers I saw was Oregon had 40 plus. I posted on my Facebook page, 40 plus wins, like 43, 45 wins, right? That's a West Coast. Yeah. Colorado had like 38 or 40 or close to that number coming in second. So it's like, Ohio had like 7 wins, I think, on what they actually picked up. So it's kind of like, is it worth it to try to go out there and compete? It's a lot more feasible when it's more, okay, it doesn't cost us maybe this much for the bottom line type thing. And I think that you have some people that are just like, the attendance they get at Great American Beer Fest has come down over the last few years. So they're trying to expand into other things, try to maybe get some non-alcoholic categories, some other stuff to get other people out there. But it's kind of like, if you're in the East, unless you're like a beer nerd like we are, you might not want to go out there because like I'm never going to see those beers anyway, unless I'm in California or something like that. So it's not really used to me going out there if the majority of the beer is going to be West Coast type thing. Where if it comes to the East, you're like, oh, I can go out here now and I can check out what Tired Hands may have or some other breweries here on the East Coast, Spellbound, whoever it may be, that I wouldn't usually maybe see out there. So I think there's a lot of things around it that kind of, it almost makes it like, I want to say it's almost like a West Coast favorite bougie type level at a certain point, because you have to be able to afford to even be there. So it's not necessarily the best beers, but it's the best I can afford to be in a competition.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody kind of knows great breweries in other parts of the country or local beers that you see someone win there and it's like, oh, this beer won, I'll just say like Allagash White, right? They win. And you're like, well, I got a great brewery here that makes a beer that stands right up against Allagash or even better. But you won't see them out there at that event because it's not cost effective for them if they have like 4 employees or 5 employees or whatever the number is. And so I feel like it's still that premier type beer event, but at the same point, is carrying some baggage with it now. Like you're kind of there by default type thing.
So I also noticed being part of the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild for emails, there's another thing that the breweries do to kind of offset the cost a little bit. Like one brewery will be like, hey, bring all of your kegs over to us and, give us, like this much and we'll do all the shipping together. So a lot of breweries will tag team the shipping. If someone has extra room in their cooler, they're like, oh yeah, we can take on like 10 other breweries and do the shipping all together, and it cuts the costs, right? So that has been a thing that has been going on, which I really appreciate the breweries again working together, because that's what they do. You're going up against these people and they're like, hey, let's ship it all together because it'll cost less. I'm like, heck yeah, let's do that. But so I do like that. It does cause a little camaraderie amidst the competition, so it's nice,
which is always good, because that's been kind of the fun thing that I've noticed over the years with the craft beer community. Even though you're competing, there's also a kind of brother sisterhood, for lack of better words, that kind of goes along with it too, and stuff, where it's kind of like you're still helping each other out. It's kind of like, you see a brewery that says we're out of something. You see all these other breweries that comes, hey, we got this over here. We can get you 10 or we can get you 15, whatever. People pull together and help each other out.
I'm one bag short on this hop and I need it by Thursday. Does anybody have an extra bag? I'll
right
up, and they'll jump right in and help out, which I kind of think is wonderful. So
yeah, and that's one of the cool things to help us, because it's like you look at other industries, it's like Ford's like, hey, we're low on this part we need for this car, and Chrysler's like, well, you're on your own. Good luck with that, buddy. Right? And like the beer community, you don't really have that. I mean, now, you can make the argument, well, unless it's like winning a macro trying to squeeze somebody, but overall in the craft beer community, it's more pulling together than not.
To be entirely honest, there are some breweries that don't necessarily play nice. There are, of course. It all depends on the owner when it comes right down to it. But a lot of the owners were, garage brewers at one point, and they helped each other out at some point. And so that's kind of instilled.
Well, a lot of them were in home brewing clubs together and stuff at some points, right? So it's like,
95% of
stuff. So the camaraderie is already built into the infrastructure of ownership, because you've already, needed help from your coworkers at one point, your co-brewers. Yeah. So that actually helps a ton in improving the relations between the companies. I love that.
Right.
That's actually why I wanted to go into the brewing industry in the first place, is I'd never seen an industry that had such camaraderie.
Yeah. That's a cool thing about the whole beer thing for the most part, right? So even coming in, and when I was, doing the stuff that I do here, as far as like the reviews or the video, like, and going to Beer Fest, just being welcomed in by some of the breweries, like some of the guys at the breweries, hey, come check this out. We want to introduce you to this. Or it's just been like a welcoming type effect, which makes it, great, right? It's like you become like a fraternity, so to speak, of just coming together for this type of thing.
Yeah. Or when a tornado came through and Skeleton Key lost their tap room, and every brewery in my area had Skeleton Key beer on to help them raise money because they needed to rebuild. Or when Twisted Hippo had their fire, they all try to help each other because they all know how hard this business is. They're all aware, and having a brewery open down the street from you is not a bad thing in this industry, because that means twice as many people are going to come to your brewery, because there's two breweries right on the same street. Fuck yeah, people are going to hit both. That's what they're going to do. Like, there's a amazing camaraderie happening. I think it's wonderful.
And you think about that, even, I mean, I don't know how many breweries will do it at this point, but you have these breweries that are kind of on top of each other. So if you have like that little down the street from you or a triangle type thing, and then it's like, some states you can't have to have food you can't do, or it costs enough. But if you can get a food truck and you guys can split it 3 ways, and that keeps people there going between the breweries, it's just a great way to partner up and do stuff, right? So
it's wonderful.
Yeah. So again, that's the opportunities with it. But like I said, Great American Beer Fest is still on my list to get there. But it brought up that question after seeing stuff this week. It's kind of like, yes, it's the short answer, being a premier beer event still, but then it's like take it with a grain of salt type thing. Like there's different things around it too. Like, when me and Todd went to Cincinnati Beer Festival, we have over 500 beers. A lot of those breweries aren't at Great American Beer Fest, right? But we all know they had some great beers that we were actually drinking, right? And they could probably stack up against other ones. Or when you go to stuff, your brewery or stuff in Illinois or other ones, it's just like there's a lot of stories that aren't being told out there because they can't afford to be out there right now. So
I ran out of beer.
oh no, we got to fix that right now.
Yeah, I gotta get another one.
That's on you.
That's on you, as Joe would say.
I'm aware of it. I gotta fix it.
As I pour my blackout stout with the 12.5% ABV session ale.
And I gotta look for that one.
Yeah, the head definitely went down there. Another one that's smooth. Nice chocolate tones. Velvety finish. Not as much of a coffee type feel, but definitely get a little bit of that booziness in there. Get a nice little sweetness. Nice little malt forwardness. Now, after it sits, I'm getting some roastiness on the back end too. This is a pretty nice one.
Do you like that one better than?
Of course, it's Great Lakes, but yeah.
You like that one better than the standard one or the barrel aged one?
Oof, I haven't had the regular one in a bit, but it has a nice little milkiness to it as well. There's nothing in here with lactose, I believe, but it's got a milk creaminess to it underneath of it. I don't know. That goes back to the other thing, right? Because I had the one from the Imperial Gonzo, which you can definitely tell the jump up from that versus the other Gonzo regular porter. This one is kind of like the 1050 barrel aged or non-barrel, like or the non. It's like it's such a subtle difference. Like, did you really need that step up? I don't know if you really needed it with this one, but
because they're such good beers by themselves.
They're such good beers by themselves. This one itself is nice and smooth though, so I'm not hating on it.
No, it's like you gotta try it and see. Like still a good thing. Might as well just see if it's gonna be better. You don't know if it is or not, but
I am now getting more of that bourbon as it's warming up. I'm getting more of that in the back end. And do get something. Okay, slightly better than the other one, I would say. That extra smoothness and that cream feel that I'm getting there with the body probably sets it apart a little bit more. But I like the blackout stout. So this one, blackout stout. I think when I had that, maybe like a 4.2. This one is probably around a 4.3, 4.4.
So the barrel or the bourbon of it's not overpowering.
No, not overpowering at all. And then that sweetness in there, that body, again, almost like that caramelly, but it's got a little more of a milky type presence to it. And it's just like very layered. It's just like when I have these beers like this, I think of like when you see the old candy bar commercials and it shows how the nougat or whatever is being poured onto it. It's got like that just like feel to it at all. Like just like it's layered on the tongue.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good. It's definitely worth picking up for sure.
To be honest with you, I don't know if I've seen any of their stuff here lately. I can recall. Might have to have you send that.
Come back. To me. There you go. I did the rye pale. It's funny. I did a rye pale ale I shared on Instagram, and they actually liked the thing I shared. I was like, "Oh, wow, cool." I would love to get Great Lakes on at some point here to talk about some of their stuff, but give me time. We'll see if it can happen. JT said the Hap did no good. They're getting creamed again. That don't sound good. A lot of things. So with the head coach fire, which only happened to lose 10 or 11 games. Yeah, well, it's definitely not their night, I guess. But I haven't watched NFL in so long. I can't even tell you who's the powerhouse or not the powerhouse. I didn't know, like, it's just kind of crazy with the Jets. I always hear about Aaron Rodgers doing stuff out there. And I know the Raiders are doing bad from stuff I'm hearing about them, but I'm all the college football for the most part, which our college coach, hopefully they fire him at some point. That guy, such a dope. I don't know if you saw the thing I posted on Facebook, Todd, with our college coach.
No,
And it was like,
I probably did. I don't remember though.
he's being asked in an interview about like the run of him being there because he's been nothing more than just barely over 500. And it's like, well, Neil Brown.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, well, if people are coming out and you got to ask themselves, are they having a good time? Are they doing better now than they were before? And it's like, that has nothing to even do with the damn question. You know, West Virginia fans, we're going to have a good time. We're always going to party. Don't get us wrong. Like that, like what it's like, dude, you got to go. You just got to get out of here, man. You got to skedaddle. Like, I'm hoping they get Jimbo Fisher or somebody to come in because Jimbo would come back to WVU to coach.
That'd be interesting.
Aaron Rodgers, Elon Musk, Alex Jones. That's kind of a crazy with the crazy for sure. I got a picture that in my mind that Elon Musk of Alex Jones is.
I'm loving our football coach right now. 6-0.
I'm saying you're undefeated still, yeah. Kettlehead in the house. Cheers, my friend. Yeah, you guys have been having a good season thus far. Are you guys ranked yet?
Yeah, I think we're like 16th.
Oh wow! Okay.
6-0, I think 16, I believe.
Like quiet too, like under the radar, because like teams aren't talking about you as much. Like when I watch like game day on Saturday, you don't have Indiana pop up too much in the conversations. But
no,
yeah,
we're going up to watch them Saturday. It's a sold out game, first time since like 2000.
Who are they playing?
Nebraska.
That'd be an interesting one. They get over Nebraska, they'll be definitely right there in the mix for sure.
Yeah, they were ranked, and they lost one game that knocked them out, and they haven't joined back in since. But we shall see.
I did see the finish of the LSU and the Ole Miss game as well. It was a crazy weekend last weekend. I watched the end of that. I was up to 2:30 Sunday morning watching the end of the Colorado game as well. But yeah, that was kind of, and I watched Alabama escape with the win in their game too last weekend because they should have been knocked off by South Carolina. So they're going to be all over that coach down there. They're going to roll him out with the Tide at some point. Yeah, Brian Kelly's got him going in the right direction now or whatever. Although I didn't like when they took that loss, he tried to blame the kids. Like, dude, you're the coach. Like, you're with them there too. You're making the calls. So
you're the main, yeah.
Brian Kelly always kind of rubs me the wrong way, just how he like tries to just lay the blame at people. It's just like, dude, like this is your team. You know, obviously you can't be in the field to make the plays, but you do have some direction there. So takes you back to remember the Titans, you know, he's questioning the leadership, you know. He's like, are you a good leader?
See, now the head coach we have now, he was an assistant in Alabama.
Yeah.
And then last year he was at James Madison and took them to I think they got up to like 15th ranked. I think they went 11-1.
Yeah.
And they hired him away from there. So he's been pretty good so far.
Sooners, they were in it for a bit. I mean, but it's Texas, and Texas, surprisingly, they're going to be right there in the big run of the ACC. Everybody thought they're going to be like under the floor mat, and they're holding their own. So, although I feel like they should have let Arch Manning stay in. I don't know. We'll see how Ewers does. Ewers is a good quarterback, bringing him back this week, but Arch had him rolling for sure. He got you. I mean, man, was a 67-yard run as a quarterback. You're like, I want to see more. Like, Arch had to get that from his grandfather, Archie, because he didn't get that 67-yard run from Peyton or Eli. So, when I followed college football, Hawaii was a favorite team because most of their games came on last. And because they're like in that time zone for sure. Todd, I barely hear you. You can barely hear Todd? Todd's coming through fine on our end.
He's a little quiet for me, but he's not the same volume
dad,
as you are.
Right? Yeah, his dad was a wide receiver, right? Because Arch is the son of the brother of Peyton and Eli. What's the other man in? Cooper. So Cooper was a wide receiver, so he might have got the speed from Cooper, but it definitely wasn't his uncle's, and it could have been his dad because his grandfather, because his grandfather Archie was definitely a runner back in the day. He had to. He was a Saints quarterback at one point.
Right, he had no choice. He had no choice.
JT knows what I'm talking about.
Run for his life.
Yeah, this weekend though it's Georgia and Texas, so that'll be the game to watch for sure. As they say in the game, there'll be playoff repercussions. That's my playoff repercussions voicemail.
That's your Berman.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I'll look out for that voice in the future.
That's good. That was like a Berman there. I like that, Todd. Yeah.
That's what it sounded like. It kind of sounded like.
He did the old Buffalo Bills circle the wagons. It's like, dude, every year you pick the Bills and they never get to the Super Bowl. Why, Chris? Why?
You're right. Eventually, he's going to get it right at some point.
He was trying to work the broken clock theory, right? Broken clock twice a day. It's got the right time. He was hoping to get there.
Well,
Nope, he retired before it happened.
That's right. Father time, so he knows time's running out.
Buffalo Bills, 4 years in a row to the Super Bowl and couldn't get a win. Oh, I do know the Dallas Cowboys see that the wheels coming off that team too. I haven't watched them, but I can just hear all the stuff about the Cowboys, how bad they are doing. I guess they just got pretty much smoked this last weekend and stuff too. So,
But Jerry Jones can't get out of their way. He's got to have his imprint on everything.
you give Dak Prescott $240 million and you're still not getting anywhere. Yeah. And apparently Devontae Adams will be playing with the Jets this weekend. So
Yeah,
I heard he got traded there.
That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I know here in Baltimore, though, people are pumped up about the Ravens again. So that was a big game last weekend here because Washington was here. So it was the LSU Bowl, so to speak.
Well, everybody here loves the Ravens now just because of Lamar. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. LSU Bowl was the week before because Washington was in Cincinnati and it was Burrow and Jaden. But here, last week, it was Lamar and Jaden. So people were watching that and they found out, I guess, that, Lamar's the real deal, not Jaden here. Not yet. Still Lamar's house. So, yeah. I love watching Billy Sims run back in the day with this Sooner. Yeah. Well, Billy Sims, he was the first 20 in Detroit. Like people, I always tell you that, like, you think of 20, you think of Barry Sanders. It's like, yeah, before Barry Sanders, it was Billy Sims too. I mean, Barry Sanders was definitely, I think, the greatest running back, but Sims, he was a beast back in the day. Cooper was a quarterback? I thought he was a wide receiver. I knew I had retired because of neck. Oh, okay. I thought he was a wide receiver. My bad then. So maybe it was his granddad. He got the wheels from. They're all quarterbacks. Cooper Manning. Well, the Blackout Stout is definitely hitting the spot.
That's good.
nice.
Right? It's always good when that happens.
There are
I forgot the Virginia Tech and Boston College game on. Virginia Tech is crushing Boston College right now.
What score?
42-21 with like 4:43 left.
Damn.
College was 4-2 and Tech was 3-3, so they'll be even after this one. Well, no one's having a worse season in the ACC than Florida State, though. I think.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, they're pretty much done there. Yeah, Archie, good scrambler, and he had to play with the Saints. And yeah, that's the thing. You look at the old footage, he was running a lot when he was with the Saints. That's back when he had the paper bags on, too. The fans, they were the Aints back then. I remember watching that as a kid. They had the paper bag on their heads and stuff, going to the games. They were the ones that originated that.
Didn't want nobody to know you were there.
Yeah. They were happy when the Buccaneers came in because then the Buccaneers became the worst team.
Yeah.
Come out here with some orange creamsicle jerseys. What's wrong with you?
Over. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But what stuff you got coming up on your channel, Todd, there with you and Shannon? I know you guys did the review today that was put up. And then earlier this week, because you're doing Tuesday and Thursday still.
Yeah.
You guys changed the time, I think. You just got it up earlier. Or because you were doing them at night, I think.
She's the one who always puts them up. So it's
Okay.
Thursdays, time-wise, it can vary. Who knows?
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to remind her, but other than that, no, I'm just nothing special. Just
Yeah.
doing reviews and putting them out and see where it goes.
Nothing special. Oh. Tampa won the first, yeah. After going on 20 against the Saints.
That's right.
That would be. We were 0-26, but now we're 127. Thanks to New Orleans. Lucky to win 5 games a year. Well, somebody had to be bad. I mean, all the years that the Browns were bad recently until the last few years. So Detroit used to be terrible, right? Like you always wonder as a kid on Thanksgiving, like why are the Lions on Thanksgiving? They suck every year, right? So it was like they get beat up every year on Thanksgiving, but they were there. That was part of their contract.
Yeah, I've heard all about it.
Great Dallas.
But now people look forward to seeing the Lions.
Speaking of which, we'll be in Detroit this weekend.
Oh.
Chu's cousin is getting married, so we have a wedding to go to.
Nice. That's Saturday?
Yeah, we're driving up tomorrow, and we'll come back Sunday or Monday. I don't know which yet.
Yeah. Well, their football team's doing good. Their baseball team was just in the playoffs. I mean, Detroit's got some stuff happening.
I know. I hear about it on a daily. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
mean, the University of Michigan might have a little bit of issues going forward right now, but
yeah, he doesn't care about University of Michigan. Wait, which one's which? There's the green one and there's the blue one.
The blue one is U of M. I think he's a fan of U of M.
Yeah, he likes the blue one.
I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah,
he likes the rodent, not the Spartan one. He likes the rodent.
He likes the Wolverine. Yeah,
that's it. That's the rodent.
Speaking of Wolverine, I gotta tell you, if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine,
I do want to see it. We haven't seen it, but
that is a freaking good. I'm actually debating do I want to see it again before it leaves the theaters because it was so good watching that movie with those two.
Good.
Yeah, them two together it was just like perfect. And then when I can't tell you when they bring out so many other people in the movie, it's just like, what the hell is going on? And you just get like pulled in, and yeah, it's pretty solid. And they tie it together nicely on how it actually works too, as part of the storyline. They don't skip over because they had the whole Wolverine and the whole Logan type things, but it's kind of tied together in a pretty good, fun way.
Seen all the Wolverine Logan things? Because I haven't. I've seen the first 2 Deadpool movies, but I didn't really watch the Wolverine ones.
No, I think you're okay to still see that and everything. Obviously, if you did see the Wolverine and Logan movie, there'll be a little bit more of a tie into it and how it actually works. But the key thing with this is just how Ryan Reynolds does. He's like the perfect person to play Deadpool. So the whole fourth wall when he's talking to the people, he explains a lot of the situation that's happening. So he'll bring you up to speed on it. Yeah.
No, I love the Deadpool movies, and Ryan Reynolds literally just seeing that he exists makes me laugh. I don't even need to hear what he's saying. I'm laughing already.
Yeah. And it's funny because the other day Deadpool 2 was on, and I don't know if you ever seen like that. Deadpool, you said you saw 2, and you watched, and I forgot like when you watched through the credits, and how he goes back and he's like basically fixing everything, from before, and that ties into why he's getting pulled into the Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
So it's more about Deadpool and then Wolverine being added into it, but from what he does at the end of that movie is the reason why he gets selected here, kind of thing. So, yeah.
I might need to refresh myself on the second one then.
Yeah. At the end of the credits and stuff, when he goes back, it's pretty funny. But yeah, it was. I mean, it's just enjoyable all the way through. It's just like the lines and the way they tell the story, and it just works. Him and Hugh Jackman together is just like, yeah.
Well, the two of them have been funny forever. I mean, honestly, everything I've seen with the two of them, everything on YouTube, everything, like their rivalry thing is so hilarious. I just can't even. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I think if you rent it there, storage JT, it's definitely going to be more. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? They're going to charge you more than rent because they're like, if you go to the theater and you got like 2 tickets, you're probably already at that point at 20 anyway. And if you're getting popcorn or candy, you're probably doing this and that. So yeah, they're trying to hit you at home a little bit too. Although I feel like that movie came out, I want to say like maybe a month and a half or so ago. So I feel like we're almost to a point at some point where it goes to the streaming service, maybe for a little bit less, but we'll see. I don't know. It was such a big movie. It was like the largest return for an R-rated movie on anything, I think, by the time they ran the numbers on stuff. So even adjusted for like later years and inflation, it's just, it's good. It's well, it definitely is worth it. So, because I was like, I don't want to wait till it comes on. I want to go see it at the theater type thing. And she had actually traveled to Cincinnati for work. And I'm like, oh, I got a free night. And YouTube actually, they sent me a thing like as a YouTube reward, like a free ticket. And that's what it actually said. Oh, let me see what's at. Oh, it's still there. So I ended up going because they paid for the ticket. Although I did get screwed at you buy candy at the theater. And I was like, maybe we should stop and get candy on the way there. No. I'll get it when I'm there. I'm like, I got a free ticket,
Go to the Dollar Tree.
I got a free
for $1.25 now.
But it's part of the experience getting your milk duds at the counter. I'm sorry, it's just part of the experience.
Well, that's the thing there. You're too.
When you can buy it for $1.25, it's sneak it in.
I'm thinking I'm winning because I got a free ticket anyway. I got there. I got some Reese's Pieces. $6 for a pack of Reese's Pieces there. Now, I could have got like 3 of those little box Reese's Pieces at like the Kroger or grocery store where they're like $1 each and paid half of that. And still had more Reese's Pieces than I got in this little bag for $6. But,
right.
When in Rome, you knew, you're just there, right? Yeah. I'm telling you, the only thing that makes sense at the theater where they don't kill you on something is if they serve alcohol. Usually you get good, decent alcohol. You get like a 24 ounce whatever beer, and it'll be like $9. Okay, I can deal with that, right? I candy, popcorn, hot dog, burger, nachos. Yeah.
No, I can enjoy my Lagunitas during the movie. I'm a happy camper. It's all good.
Yeah. But it was nice. And you got that now. The theater I went to was an AMC one, and the whole thing is custom made with the whole recliner chair. So it's just like laying back and chilling and relax. And at the time I went to see it, it was like already out for a few weeks. So it was like me and maybe 5 or 6 other people in the theater, which was nice. And just, just spread out and just chill. But if you're a Deadpool fan, if you're a Wolverine fan, definitely want to see this movie.
I do want to see it.
Please run outside because the movie's only released recently. It's still in theater. Yeah. Once it does that at theaters, they'll drop the price on it. But that's like the only movie I think it's the first movie I've seen. I know it's the first movie I've seen in the theater at least since the pandemic. Because we rarely ever go to the theaters. Just usually watch stuff at home when you get the streaming services.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time we went to a movie.
Yeah, and even before the pandemic was probably at least a good number of years before we went to a movie. So
we used to go all the time.
Yeah. But for some movies, it's always good when you see them up on the big screen, so to speak, too. So that was one of those ones with special effects and all the different things happening.
Yeah, that does kind of make a difference for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's almost time for Halloween in a couple weeks. How about that? Trick or treat.
What are you dressing up as, Rod?
I'm not dressing up as anything. I'll be dressing up as a beer person because Halloween is a Thursday night, and I'll be right here drinking beers.
Are we doing it on 30? Are we doing it on?
I don't have kids. I don't have kids. So I'm not going anywhere. And I'm in a high rise where no kids come by our stuff for Halloween. So
Lazy.
where am I going to go? I got no kids. What am I supposed to do?
Party. Hey, I like seeing that I have a medal.
I mean, unless y'all want to dress up for a beer stream here.
I was gonna say, should we dress up or
We could do a Halloween live stream.
Heck yeah. I got plenty of costumes. I'll figure out something.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll probably just do Beer Wench because that makes the most sense.
Yeah, so yeah, that's Halloween. I do want to watch what's it called? I heard mixed reviews on it, but Max has the remake of Salem's Lot that's playing right now, which was a classic back in the day. But when you do a remake,
I've never actually watched any of the film adaptations. I've only ever read the book a few times. So I'm a Stephen King fan in general. So
the one back in the 80s was pretty good. I mean, it was a made-for-TV thing, and it still was like, it was probably one of the most intense made-for-TV horror movies I think I've ever seen. Like, it was just that good suspenseful-wise on it.
It was better. It was better. With
it was made for TV with
it was a 2-part made for TV.
You know, with Tim what you call him?
Tim Curry. It was.
Well, you say you never saw Salem's Lot, so you can't compare it.
Nothing compares to it.
Salem's Lot was better. I've seen both.
No,
I've seen both.
No, was Green Mile made for TV?
No, that was made for movies.
Okay,
but that wasn't a horror movie though either.
Yeah, but it was fucking incredible.
It was a good movie. I mean, yeah. Michael Clark Duncan, another one that died too early. Green Mile, yeah.
That was a Stephen King movie.
Yeah. That was like the weird one. Like, I say weird because he always does horror, but like the Green Mile was one that wasn't a horror, and then like Stand By Me, which wasn't horror.
Yeah. Well, I mean, childhood trauma. There's a bit of horror to it. Because the whole idea was finding a dead body of a classmate. So, I mean, there's a little bit of horror.
I mean, they found a dead body in Boys in the Hood, and they,
Yeah.
It wasn't too much. I mean, trauma.
Hey, when they actually find the body, they take a moment to say he was knocked out of his keds. I'm sorry. There's a level of horror there. There is.
You just say knocked out of the kids, yeah.
Yeah. So the train hit him hard enough to knock his damn shoes off. Yeah, there's a little bit of horror there.
Well, kid doesn't come out of kids easy, so yeah. Streaming has made TV series better and more dominant than movies.
And
streaming has.
What was the line? Suck my cock, you cheap dime store hood. When he had the gun on the other kid, the teenage boy. Heck yeah. Because they were being chased down by the teenagers,
Yeah.
I know Stephen King himself was not very fond, but it's still amazing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's not fond sometimes of his adaptations from the book for movies, I know.
I don't think he has any that he's fond of. I don't think he's liked any of them.
Yeah, I know he wasn't as fond of the first Shining. I think the second Shining was more closer to the book, but I don't remember too much from that one. I liked the first one, though.
Oh, the first one, it was well done, but it deviated from the book in ridiculous ways. Like, they didn't have to deviate in the ways they chose to.
Red rum.
No, that was true.
Red rum.
You left out the topiaries. How can you leave out the topiaries? You need the topiaries.
You need the topiaries.
As hell.
Yeah. Those two twins were kind of freaky and Shining.
Like you're out in the garden and you look and that lion bush is closer to you than it was before, but you're looking at it and it's a bush and it obviously hasn't moved, but it seems closer. And then you look away and you look again and it seems closer again. I'm sorry, the topiaries were creepy and they should have left them in. How are you not leaving the topiaries?
We were talking earlier about the Twilight Zone. There used to be a show that used to be on TV. What was this? I got to see if I can find it here. But it was a show like the Twilight Zone, but they did all like horror type stuff. Let's see if I can find it here. And it was kind of interesting because Oh, I can't remember the series. JT might remember if he's watching some of the horror stuff from back then. It was like it's almost like it wasn't Tales from the Dark Side, but it was something else. And there was this one episode. No, it wasn't Tales from the Crypt because this was like a 1960s, 1970s show. And there was an episode they had one time, and this one used to freak me out as a kid, right? So there was a guy. No, it wasn't Alfred Hitchcock.
That's what,
But there was a guy that lived in a mansion in one of the episodes, and he had a picture. And one night he looked at the picture, and it was like a picture of a cemetery. Well, he'd go back and look at it, in the cemetery where the body was buried, it would like open up where the lot was now open, like when somebody was buried. He would come back and look again, and there would be like a figure out of the grave.
Yeah.
And then he would look again, and like this figure kept moving every time he looked at the picture. And all of a sudden, he heard a knock at the door. And then this thing ended up coming in and basically killing him and stuff, where he has a heart attack. I can't remember the name of the show that actually did that, but as a kid, that one freaked me the hell out.
And I remember that. I remember that show. I remember that story. Like, I was like, oh my God, I totally remember this.
He would keep running back to look at the picture, and you keep seeing the thing move. And his house was on the property where this graveyard was. Right.
Yeah. It was a painting of the cemetery by his house.
I can't remember what show that was or episode, but that was like when it freaked me out. And I was just like, okay, I'm not going to sleep for a little bit now.
Yeah, that one was creepy, I gotta say. I do remember that.
I'm trying to see if I can see it on Google, see if it pulls it up.
I'm trying to look for it too and see.
No,
it was an old show, right?
It was an old show.
Night Gallery.
Night Gallery. You're right. It was Night Gallery. Night Gallery was the show, and it was like Twilight Zone, but they're all horror stories.
And that episode was called The Cemetery.
Yes.
But I typed in Google, I typed TV show cemetery painting corpse to front door, and it pulled it right up.
Yeah. The Cemetery is a Night Gallery classic. Someone did a thing on YouTube.
Gallery. That was such a good show. And you're right. They were more focused on the horror ones, but they were so good.
Because Rod Serling actually did that one there.
Yeah, Rod Serling was part of that show too. It was season 1, episode 1, it looks like. It was the very first one.
Yeah. Let me see here.
And it was the corpse of his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to look that one up because I've never seen that.
See, this was there was like the right there. There's that. Yeah, when he starts coming, he sees the guy approaching the house was he's in, and then he hears a knock at the door. It's just like, yeah. That was a freaky one for sure.
No, Night Gallery was an amazing show. Again, Rod Serling, because he's fucking fantastic.
Remember? There you go.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy. Oh, that's like what was it? The Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the books that had the really awful illustrations. Do you remember those? There was a series of books when I was a kid called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and they had illustrations that were absolutely horrific. Oh. And I loved those books, but when I was working for Barnes & Noble, they had taken them and redone all the illustrations to not be as creepy because kids couldn't handle it anymore. And I found that really funny.
I bet too many kids were in their parents' beds like, I can't sleep.
But I always liked the scary stuff, so.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of that. I mean, sometime when I was like, I guess I was like 6 or 7 at my grandparents' house, and The Exorcist was on TV at that point, and I was watching it upstairs, and they had like a 2-floor, like one of those old type houses, like where you hear creaks and stuff. Oh, okay.
That's one. Here's the one about the scarecrow.
That's okay. Yeah, that would freak some kids out for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this was a head that fell down a chimney. This is the girl who had the spiders climb out of her face because the spiders laid eggs in her face.
What was the age for the readers of these books? Like, I don't know, it's like 13 or 14 or something?
It's supposed to be like 12, 13-ish. But yeah, I mean, this was the front cover. when I read it.
Mm.
I mean, but they were creepy ass like pictures. They was oh, and this was the girl who started to melt. All of her skin started to melt off. Like that's an actual
Ooh.
someone's fingers there holding the
Yeah.
book open. But like the illustrations were like the creepiest I'd ever seen. It's nightmare fuel completely. So yeah, they did.
Yeah,
such
that will
a
freak some
job
kids
early.
out for sure. Yeah, but
Oh, the girl who went to the cemetery, to show that she went to the cemetery, she had to plunge a knife into the grave, and when she did it, it went through her skirt, and she died of fright.
ooh. Oh, speaking of fright in the cemetery, that was another one of my favorite episodes from Twilight Zone. When he goes up on the hill, I remember that one was the Western, and the guy is like, so he said a thing like if the guy comes out there, he's going to kill him at like midnight or something at his grave or whatever. Like the guy was dead, and they were like, "You gonna go up to the grave?" And he was like, "I don't need to go to the grave." They're basically putting the pressure on him. He finally goes up there, and he like ends up dying up there. Like he trips over. Like they're trying to figure out how he ended up dying, and the guy is like, "Oh, it was something came up here." And he got a fear and he fell back this way. You can see how he landed. And it's like, but you're saying he would have done this way, but the sun's over here. And like, it didn't make sense how it cast it. They're like, they don't know if the ghost got him or he just had a heart attack or something. There were some well written shows back then. I said soft ass kids. With the pictures of Mal was showing.
When they redid the illustrations, I was very disappointed. I wouldn't actually tell people to take the new one. I would tell them to take the original because it had, shit like this with the bloody feet coming down from the fireplace and shit. I was like, no, you need the original illustrations. Don't take the fake ones. Oh, actually, a nice little amalgamation of a whole bunch of the illustrations.
Well, there you go.
So creepy and just so nightmare inducing. And I loved them. That was one of my favorite books growing up as a little one. I must have read it when I was about 9.
Yeah. Well, I remember, like I was saying earlier, like when I was when I was 6 or 7 or whatever, and Exorcist was on TV.
Oh yeah.
And I was at my grandparents' house, and it was like, it still had it was edited for television, right? Kind of, so you didn't get all the full movie type thing.
Your mother sews socks that smell, I believe, was the TV edited one. Instead of Your Mother Blows Cocks in Hell, yeah.
But it was like 10 something at night or whatever, and I was the only one upstairs. So my grandparents had like a 2-story, like one of those old houses where you hear all the crickets type things, and it was all dark up there, and I'm just watching TV in the room. They're all downstairs, and it's like the scene came on where she spins her head around.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, nope. I went back downstairs. They're like, go to bed. I'm like, I'm not going to bed till somebody else goes to bed up there. I'm not going up there by myself. Like, no way.
I didn't have a problem reading the scary stories. Okay, I would get a little nervous. I would keep the cat in my room because I knew the cat would notice if something was wrong before I would. And I did have something dangling from my doorknob, so if someone opened the door, I would hear it. And I might have convinced my father to get a single child a bunk bed because I wanted to be higher off the floor. But besides that, my problem was the movie Pumpkinhead. I saw the movie
Pumpkinhead. If you see that when you're too young, yeah.
When I was 7. I snuck out of bed and I turned on the TV and watched the movie Pumpkinhead when I was 7 years old. And I lived out in the country and not a lot of houses around and all the stuff. And I had a big window that faced outside and I could see him moving out in the trees all the time when I was a kid. So Pumpkinhead was my fallen moment where I realized. And also my grandmother was obsessed with porcelain dolls and she kept sending me porcelain dolls. And my parents would arrange them on my dresser so you could see like they were by the mirror. So you could see like the side of their face in the mirror as well as them staring at you on the dresser. And the porcelain dolls, man, no, I watched
porcelain dolls are freaky because it's like when you move to different spots, like they're still looking at you.
Yeah. What was it? The Twilight Zone episode Talkie Tina.
Oh yeah, I saw them.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't think I like you. And then the dad dies because the doll kills him and stuff. Like, and then of course, what Poltergeist had the clown
And the
in the
clown.
bedroom.
Yeah.
Had the clown in the bedroom. So yeah, my grandmother had knitted. So it had like a clown head, but she had knitted the body, so it had like spiral arms and legs, like crocheted. And that little fucker, that was buried as deep as it could be in a drawer somewhere because I didn't want him anywhere near me ever. Oh my goodness. So I loved all the horror stuff as a kid, though. I just, too much fun. It was like safe scary. I didn't feel like I was going to actually die most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. Yeah, depending on what scary movie or type it was. I mean, I had no problem watching Friday the 13th when I was a kid until it was 6th grade and they sent us to a camping trip in the Poconos and we were sitting in a screened-in cabin after Friday the 13th came out and you start thinking like, we got no protection if Jason comes. Like, we're all like on shifts trying to make sure like if we all take turns guarding the door, we'll be all right. So like,
and Rodney, you's probably even worse because you know in that movie the black guy always dies first.
Probably, yeah.
See, I had more of a problem with Nightmare on Elm Street because you couldn't escape him. You just fell asleep. And
Nightmare on Elm Street wasn't out yet when I was in 6th grade. Wow. So back then it was like right after Friday 13th came out and we went on a summer trip for our class and it was like a week like in the Poconos and it was so funny because we got out there and we were supposed to try to sneak over to the other camp to see the girls and all of us had seen Friday 13th. And so we're like, we're not going anywhere out in the woods on this type of thing. And you could hear the girls down there like, where the fuck are the boys? Blah, blah, blah. Like, and it was like, nope, we're not going down. Like,
sorry.
Sorry, we like being alive more than getting laid.
Because you know what? On Friday 13th, Jason always got the ones that were trying to get the action. So we knew that rule. Don't go out there trying to do anything in the camp in the woods because Jason will get you. So
like we're just low. We're just gonna lay low.
No, I always thought Freddy was scary, Freddy was scarier because so Jason, he would walk and you could try to outrun
Jason was a cool cat. Jason never had to run, really. He just like, no
matter how fast you ran, he always caught up, all the stuff. But Freddy, literally, all you had to do was fall asleep and you are at his mercy no matter what. Like, you had no control at all. And people have to sleep. You actually cannot stay awake for too long. You are physically incapable of doing
I don't know.
that.
Yes, Vanessa. Vanessa does it a lot with her.
He always gets a chance. He gets more and more chances. Like, with Jason, well, leave the fucking camp. What the hell are you doing? Like, go somewhere else. Go to a motel. What's wrong with you? The old guy tried to tell him, don't stay there. Don't go there. He tried to warn him. So, let's go to the Bates Motel and be safer. Because, honestly, coming in
the
with
Bates
the
Motel.
No, you're not nearly as scary as the others. Shut up. Dumbass with mommy issues. I ain't got time for you.
Just don't shower.
You look great in that dress, though.
He was kind of a skinny kind of guy. It was like almost like if Mr. Rogers was a serial killer. Like it didn't feel like Norman Bates would scare you, really. Yeah. But
True.
He just caught you off guard, is what it was. Yeah.
Well, I grew up on stories of Ed Gein and Gacy. So
John Wayne Gacy. Yeah.
Ed Gein was just over the border in Wisconsin when he was making belts out of nipples and shit. And then, Gacy was here as a clown burying boys in his, basement.
Yeah.
It's like, I grew up on those stories. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I think there's been like a serial killer type thing in a good amount of time, right? Which is a good thing. Not saying we want to have one, but I'm thinking about when we grew up. It seemed like there was almost one like every year, like something would pop up somewhere. It was kind of like.
Well, that's the funny thing. They just haven't been caught yet, sweetie.
I guess, but now we got more information out there. Now you think it'd be easier to try and track some stuff because everybody's got the social media and all kinds of stuff. But I don't know.
Oh no, they're here. You're just not catching up on the hints yet.
I mean, what was the last one? Really, like Dahmer was like the last big one, right? Like,
Yeah.
Dahmer wasn't your average. He was a cult leader rather than serial killer. Okay, yes, he was involved in many deaths, but he was more a cult leader than an actual serial killer.
Dahmer? No, Dahmer killed the black guys.
Oh, wait. I was thinking of the guy with the swastika.
Oh, you're thinking of Manson.
I was thinking of Manson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The whole thing with the whole Manson thing was kind of interesting in itself, just from a perspective of technically he never killed anybody, but he just kind of put thought processes out there and people acted themselves. But it's kind of like you basically went to jail for the rest of your life for your thoughts, kind of thing. But nobody really wanted to come. Nobody wanted to risk him being out. So I guess that's how it just worked out. But I would have ran those in the wood with those girls.
Oh, that's great.
Oh shit! Yeah,
you're my favorite. You really are. That's great. It's like girls. Oh, fuck the serial killer. I got this.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
When you're 12 years old, you weigh your options. It's like,
Right.
But see, I also had like the tween girl slumber parties where we did the Bloody Mary in the mirror, had the Ouija board, did the light as a feather, stiff as a board.
light as a feather. Yeah.
Different things, So yeah, did all those too. Kind of fun. My father, however, raising a young girl by himself, took it upon himself to literally be the absolute bane of my existence while we were doing these things. So we're, playing Bloody Mary in the mirror. Everyone's quiet. I still have the porcelain dolls sitting there just to freak out my fucking friends because hell yeah. I have all this shit going on. And Dad decides to make scratching noises at the door.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Really got the nerve to come over to the door and open it. He was wearing a goddamn bed sheet and started shouting, and we all screamed and scattered in different directions. And we're lucky no one got hurt because he pulled that shit. That was just one of them. He would do that shit all the time. He would wait till we were asleep and do make noises outside the wall and shit just to freak us out because he was a dick. Oh, so fun. I look back on it fondly now, but at the time it was absolutely terrifying.
Manson was a manipulator. Since then, many others have been convicted for manipulating people to murder. I'm a big true crime fan. He said, "Oh, okay." I mean, it's interesting just because there is the whole thing. If you're the thought behind something happening, where you can be convicted for it too. So I get that part.
The young girl who bullied the young boy into killing himself. She served some kind of time for that, I'm sure. I know she was convicted of. Well,
but then it's I feel like there's a thin line in there as well. I mean, I know the whole thing, the bullying, but it's at the same point, I feel like being devil's advocate, so to speak. It's not like you have a gun in your head either to do something too. So it's kind of how far do you actually go? If somebody says a comment about something now and somebody acts on it, are you guilty for it type thing? So that's always been kind of a weird type thing for me.
I don't think a gun is the only way to kill someone. I was in a relationship for 3 years that was verbally abusive. And I can tell you words can be just as dangerous as fists. We hadn't gotten to fists yet. He was getting close. And I got out of there in time, thank God. But he was verbally abusive, and I wasn't myself anymore. I was a shadow of what I used to be. He would come up to me and knock the keys out of my hand while we're walking to the car, and then he'd go pick them up, and I would pick them up. I had no self-will anymore. So words can be just as destructive. It just takes longer. It's a slow-acting poison.
Yeah, I mean, it's a psychological type thing there, which, I have no tolerance for guys that do that kind of shit. Those are the kind of guys I would love to beat their ass, but that's a whole different thing.
If I got the chance, I might consider it at this point.
I mean, there's no reason for guys to treat women that way or whatever. So it's kind of
and that way because
true. Yeah,
my cousin was in an abusive relationship with a woman for many years, and he's still recovering from that. So Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like,
If you know
Yeah.
how to manipulate a person, you can be just as dangerous as an actual weapon, to be
Oh,
honest.
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah.
Probably worse.
You know-
Even worse.
Well, it's
Because,
worse just because
they're all
there's
weak.
long-standing damage, you know?
Oh yeah.
You might
Well, that's
not
the whole
have
thing.
scar
If you,
tissue, but you do on the inside. It sucks.
yeah, it's almost like the way, like, kind of military type thing where they break you down and get you back up, but there's like a control that you kind of fall under where you're not doubting stuff and you're just following orders, kind of thing,
Yeah.
type thing. So
Well, there's a continuing argument that Chu and I will have where if I'm saying something and he cuts me off, I get really, really upset and I get really angry because I wasn't allowed to speak in that situation with the past guy.
yeah,
And so I get like verbally angry and super angry when I don't feel like I'm allowed to speak. And so Chu is still dealing with the aftermath of that asshole, which sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of broken. It's just how it is.
yeah. I mean, it has an effect, right? So it's not something. If you do it, obviously it's over a number of time, years, months, whatever it may be. It's not something you're gonna get over like instantly.
So, blow a kiss to Trez because I'm here all week.
Yeah.
Try the wheel.
Here all week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he definitely had the brain control over him too. So it's just an interesting type thing. I've always, like, when I was younger, reading about it's kind of just fascinating because then it's like, how far can you go? Obviously, you can go to prison for controlling or the thoughts and all that kind of stuff, making people push people into different things. But it's kind of like in my mind, I always think like it'll become a slippery slope down the line too. Like, how far? When's it stop? And it's like,
Yeah.
somebody says something here, and somebody acts out. When is it not like you just saying something and somebody just took your words and ran with it, but you didn't want them to actually run with it too? So it's become the whole thing of how far becomes too far.
Well, it's about the intent. If you can,
Yeah.
if you can nail down what the intent was,
Yeah.
then you know whether they were,
Yeah.
trying.
I mean, it's like it could have went a whole different direction. Clark Griswold did not really want the boss to be brought to his house on Christmas Eve.
That's true.
But Eddie acted on his words, and the whole SWAT team busted in.
Yeah.
If they would have started firing, Clark Griswold would have been dead. All kind of, it would have been like a whole misunderstanding of Clark just blowing off steam, right? So, just saying.
Of the serial killers, I have two favorites. One of them is that little old lady from London. Like, she was super little old lady, like grandma type.
Was a serial killer?
Yes.
How was she a serial killer? Was it this arsenic and old lace or something?
It's similar, but like if like a guy would come over to fix something, once he got it fixed, she would kill him and like cut him up into little pieces and then put out pieces of them in the trash over time. But she killed like 10 people or something. Like, it was all like
I'd never heard this story. Yeah.
She was one of my favorites. And then Madame LaLaurie from New Orleans. She and her husband owned slaves in their household, and her husband was a doctor, so they performed medical experiments in their attic, and it was not
That's
good.
not good. Yeah, no, it's not good at all. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's an awful lot of them that have existed, and yeah, I might have paid attention to a few stories. Mostly it's when I'm at a place and I go on like a ghost tour and learn about a thing. Of course, I have to learn more. So,
You're right, JT. He actually did, like that, was covered on legal eagle. He committed several felonies and misdemeanors in that. Well, you probably what, did he commit them, or did actually Eddie commit them? Right? Because Eddie's the one that went out and did the kidnapping.
I mean, did they cover the ant on the roof of the car when she was dead? Was that a thing?
That had to be endangerment, right? That had to be some type of thing there. Yeah,
dead. It's not endangerment, but it's
there's got to be something done to a corpse. Well, maybe something done to a corpse or something.
Yeah, desecrating a corpse would be a thing. So,
but the animal cruelty for the dog, had to be something.
Yeah, the animal cruelty for sure, but. And for the cat at the Christmas light.
Nowadays that would be written out of the scene. It wouldn't even be in a movie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Sarah Boone
gross.
tries to arrest Trump for manipulating her boyfriend and crawl inside a suitcase that she refused on the mountain. Left him. What?
That's horrible.
Well, yeah, but crawl inside a suit. Why would you want to crawl inside a suitcase anyway?
Well, you've heard the bride in the trunk story.
How big was the suitcase?
The bride in the trunk story. No.
Yeah. A big manor house, big wedding, you know, they're gonna do the vows and everything, and the bride doesn't show up. Apparently she went up to the attic and she was looking for something in a trunk and she fell in and it latched and nobody ever found her and she died in the trunk, but that's why she didn't make it to her wedding.
I did not hear that story. And then I'm thinking, like, how strong is that? How strong is that latch on that trunk? Like, I feel like you could punch out of it, but
Well, not how big are these things?
yeah, yeah, right. How big, right? I mean, this. How little was this guy to crawl into a suitcase, right?
Or that too is like how small are these people, or how big is a suitcase? Like I've never seen a suitcase I could actually fit in.
Right.
He was one of those 90-pound weakling guys. Come on. Give him some slack. He was tiny.
What was he going to take him to the UPS store or something? Like, why would you get in a suitcase anyway? Like, what kind of?
Well, she just
no reason
to it. She wanted to prove that he would fit, and then once he got in, she just didn't let him out.
And he couldn't bust out of a zipper, I guess.
Maybe the zipper was down by his feet and he couldn't reach because he was folded in so weird.
I want to see how big this guy is to fit in the suitcase for one.
I gotta say, yeah, that's kind of got some questions around that one there.
How
Yeah.
big was the suitcase?
Yeah, military types of MK Ultra on the books.
Well, he looks like he was tall, but really skinny. He kind of looks like Blue Ice, not as tall.
JT's got the stuff for the thing there. Bank fraud for post-dated checks, public endangerment for overloading the electric grid, vandalism for damaging neighbor's house, to name a few. The guy was apparently horse jockey size, and they were playing hide and seek, according to Boone. Oh, well, he's a little guy then. Videos about the case all over YouTube.
Okay.
But he looks really skinny in the pictures. Like his face is really, really skinny. They're not showing full body shots, but his face looked really narrow.
Well, who were they playing hide and seek from? Like, if it's the two of them, then she'd zip them up, so you can't be hide and seek from her.
right.
I got some questions around that.
It could have been a double date. You don't know. It could have been a double date.
And they would be like, "Oh, where's your date at?" I don't know where he went to. Weren't you just playing hide and seek with them?
You guys got to work early. It's fine. Go ahead. I'll find him. It's no big
deal.
She's like, leave me alone. I'm going on vacation.
This is why that whole Jordan Peele movie never sat right with me. Like, there's questions I got. Like, I would never get out of that position when that guy was in that thing, getting tricked by the psychiatrist and getting drugged. Like, no. Like, what would, I'm the guy on the phone trying to tell me, you don't need to be out there. You need to come back. Like, yeah.
What if somebody's like, if she would be like, hey, get in the suitcase. I'm like, why do I want, what for? What do you mean getting a suitcase for what?
Yeah.
No, nobody wants to know. I'm not getting it. You're on your own. You get here. You get in a suitcase and we'll try you out. See if how that works.
Yeah. I wouldn't have gotten the suitcase myself. I don't get it. But, people do what they do.
I mean, I'm not a little guy, so I'm not sure there's any suitcases.
The story has changed a lot. She was drunk and took a video of the poor guy in the suitcase pleading for his life. Oh, wow, that sucks too.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chu and I were actually talking about phobias and fears the other day, randomly. I don't know why. But he has a fear of small spaces, like if you do one of those cave tours, like if you go to one of those cave tours and you have to like crouch down to get through spaces and stuff, it makes him really, really
like spelunking type thing or whatever, or just going through the cave. Like we went through the caves before. They showed us this little hole where they had a moonshine still down in Gatlinburg, and how the people had to come in to get to the moonshine. And this hole was so small, like they had to have probably a guy like this that could fit in the suitcase. I would have to go into it to be able to get to, because it was so hidden. So yeah, that would suck to get stuck back there. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he gets really nervous about that. For me, I don't mind that as much. Small spaces aren't an issue unless water is involved. So like the people who scuba dive through caves with their tanks and stuff, and they're underwater and going through these tight little spaces, that scares the living shit out of me. I can't even comprehend someone putting themselves in that position. It's horrifying on all levels.
Yeah.
At least in the regular caves, you still got air. The underwater ones are way scarier to me.
I'd have a phobia going down to the bottom of the ocean with someone using a computer controller. I'm just saying, that's me though.
Yeah,
That's me. It's like we're getting into a sub. We're going to where? And that's the control. Like that Logitech? No, I'm out. I'm out.
No, you want to know something funny? When I lived in the Caribbean, one of my friends that I lived there, her name was Elaine, and she was Australian. She was a scuba instructor. And one of her part-time jobs was she was a submarine operator for the wealthy guy, the Virgin Records guy.
That's Branson, Richard Branson.
Yeah, Richard Branson. She was his submarine driver, and he wanted to go to the Marianas Trench, and she was just gung ho. She wanted to go so bad, and I'm looking at her like, "You are fucking crazy, bitch! Like you're nuts." But, I have fish fear. So when I was when I was on swim team in high school, I would get really good times on the sprints because I would imagine fish in the water and I would panic and swim a lot faster than everybody else. Sprints were good. Long distance swimming was not my thing, but when I lived in the Caribbean,
did you watch Piranha as a kid or something? Did it kind of traumatize you?
I mean, I saw Piranha, but it didn't traumatize me. I just because like I went not scuba diving. I went snorkeling, and a grouper was there, and a grouper is like 300-400 pounds, and they're like bigger than you. Now they're not going to hurt you. They don't care about you.
No, they serve them in restaurants. So yeah,
they're super chill. But I saw one and it was bigger than me, and I'm in the water, and I got out of that water really fast. In fact, the flippers were going fast enough that my entire torso was above water while I was swimming because my feet were kicking hard enough to lift the torso out of the water.
I immediately think of Richard Pryor in the toy.
The toy. That's what I was thinking when he ran on water.
Yeah. I was pretty damn close. Like,
that's what I was thinking of when in the Piranha he was running on the water.
When it comes to actual physics, I was as close to that as you can get physically as a human. My entire from the waist up was out of the water while I was kicking hard enough to get back to the boat, and I was done. I was so done. So yeah, I have fish fear.
I don't think I've ever heard fish fear before.
You know, I don't.
Or fish phobia. It's kind of weird though. Like we went to the Dominican Republic and we went out into the and it was different down there. So we'd have like, I guess the fish there were kind of used to people being out there. Sometimes maybe the people fed fish. So it's like we'd be swimming there, it'd be like these little clear fish. Like you could almost see through the fish. They were so clear that would just come over where you were actually at, like with no problem. And it was kind of weird at first because you're like, you know, I'm here, fish, you're over there. You know, we're supposed to have you're in my zone right now, dog. You're supposed to back up. You're not supposed to be here with me. But these fish were like, I don't care what you doing. I'm coming through. This is my land. You are my house, and I'm going to swim by.
You're in my house. So.
And I don't think it's fish so much as I'm in their space and they move a lot faster and can do whatever they want, and I can't do anything about it. I think that is more the fear that I have no control of the situation when I'm
and you can't see them for the most part.
Yeah, you can't see them for the most part because if they're more than 20 feet away, the particles in the water make it impossible.
Yeah.
And I did see a barracuda around the same time as I saw the grouper. So yeah, I was done. I also got stung by a jellyfish that day. So I was.
Oh, it was a bad day for you in the water for sure.
That's all around bad day. Right?
Well, I mean, it wasn't an actual jellyfish. The jellyfish season had already come through. But when animals are eating the jellyfish, sometimes they leave tentacles kind of floating around in the water. So I had one that got wrapped around my finger here, and I had 2 burn marks going up my hand because it, like, as I was swimming, it got through my where my fingers are and burned me. And I had another one come up right up under the mask, and it was on my face, burning. So yeah, it was unpleasant. I had a rough day, so I didn't go out like deep sea snorkeling again after that.
That could definitely change your opinion of doing it. I can see that.
I did hear a super funny story, though. Would you like to hear the funny story?
Sure.
So my friend Elaine, who again was the submarine driver person, she was talking about a group she had taken out scuba diving, and the water was like 30 feet, 40 feet deep. Not too bad because these were like beginners. So they got everyone suited up, and everyone starts, following the rope and doing the practice and all the stuff. And this guy pops back up on the boat, and he comes up to her and he says, in a weird voice, he says, "I need help. I lost my teeth." So he had dentures, and they were gone.
Yeah.
And
Here's Hector, by the way. Appreciate you being here, my friend.
Oh,
You got Catholic Mass in the morning.
yeah. But yeah, so he said he lost his dentures, and she's like, ugh.
Lost his dentures in the water?
Yeah, while he was scuba diving, he pulled out his mouthpiece, and he lost his denture.
Oh, the mouthpiece. Should have used Polynet.
So she sighed because it's in the goddamn ocean, and she knows she's not going to find it. And she says, "Where did you lose them?" And he
went into the ocean to find his dentures?
No, he was there scuba diving. He was doing scuba diving practice.
But he lost his dentures, right?
Yes.
In the water?
Yes.
And your friend was going to go in and try to find them.
So he came back to the boat. He told her what happened, and he said it was right over there. And she's like, "I'll go down and check." So she skin dives. She doesn't use a mask or anything, but she dives down.
I thought skinny dip and dive. Okay, just skin dive, no mask.
No.
I'm gonna see a lot of people in her boat. I'm sure. Yeah.
No apparatus. But she dives down approximately where he said. She gets down to the bottom, and she actually finds dentures. And she's like, "Oh my god! Like seriously, that should have been gone by now." But okay, sure. So she brings them back up to the boat, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. These are super expensive." So he's dipping it in like the sandy water that you use on the masks and stuff, and he dips it and he cleans it and all this stuff. And he goes and he pops it back into his mouth, and he immediately spits back out, and he's like, "Yeah, those aren't mine." She found someone else's dentures where he said he lost his. It was one of the best scuba diving stories anyone ever told me because Elaine was absolutely a card and really funny. And yeah.
Hey, my friends, this is how Cocoon was made.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, they were someone else's dentures. He did not get his dentures back. He had to order a new set. But,
oh my gosh.
But
the denture zone. The denture zone out there.
I know, right?
Like,
yeah.
We can make these work.
The denture triangle.
This would have been close to Salt Island in the British Virgin Islands. That's where she was doing the line because the 30, 40 feet is the length that these people were able to handle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was right by Salt Island in the British Virgin Islands. So super fun.
Emerson Fish Fear is the name of my new ska band. No horns on it. Only fish instruments. There you go.
What exactly is a fish instrument?
Maybe it's like the shell, like a hermit crab or something. Like
That's
the
not
horn.
a fish.
It's not a fish. Yes, right. It's not a fish. You just get them at the beach, but it's not a fish. You're right.
You have the bones. You can make the sound, right?
But you take the crab claws and make them drummer sticks or something. I don't know. They're kind of grabby though.
Oh, now I want seafood.
Seafood. Well, yeah. Lots of seafood here for sure.
Yeah, I'm craving seafood, but all I got is kale soup.
Not crab legs, but they give you the whole crab. The crab, you go to restaurants around here, Maryland, here's a crab, here's your hammer. There you go. Like, wait a minute. I thought it was crab legs like at the buffet. No, we give you the whole crab. Like, you got to go to work on it. And then, and they crack it open. And I'm like, no, that's too much. That's like going to New Orleans. And the first time they said, we got Pilonese shrimp. Oh, I'm used to that. Take a little bit. No, they give you the actual shrimp that actually came out. Still got the eyes and the antenna. Like, you got to peel and eat. Cut off that. I'm like, you didn't tell me there's that much work involved, you know? Yeah.
I don't mind doing the extra work. Honestly, a pound of crab legs, I can fly through that. I'm perfect.
I feel like it's too much work to get to what you're getting into it.
Nah, it's a part of the experience. It's fun.
I'm just like, nah, yeah.
Well, also in the BVI is an island called Anegada. and it's just a salt spit or a sand spit, really. But we went there for snorkeling because the snorkeling's supposed to be good, and I obviously wasn't because I had bad experiences, but my friends were, so that was fine. I was in a hammock on the beach because I know better. So they're enjoying their snorkeling, but we decided we're hungry, and there was this shack that you go up to, and this old grandma was in the shack, and we said we wanted lobster because they're known for lobster on Anegada. So she takes a wooden spoon, and she like salutes us with this wooden spoon, and then she turns around and starts hitting this little boy in the corner, and he jumps up where he was sitting, and she holds up 3 fingers, and he runs out to the dock, all the way to the end of the dock, and he pulls up traps, and he pulls out 3 lobsters, and he runs back and hands them to her, and she pops them in the pot right there in front of us, and we were like, holy shit, what's happening right now? First of all, child abuse, but also what?
Hey, kids got to learn to work at some point, so.
He was sitting in the corner, like, with his arms on his knees and with his head down, like he fell asleep in the corner or something. She starts hitting him with a spoon to make him go get lobster. Like, oh my God, what is happening? So, really good lobster, though. Excellent lobster.
See, child labor can work out for you.
I was a teacher. I believe strongly in child labor. I was told by the school that I had to cover a Saturday detention, and I said, can I put them to work? And they said, what do you want them to do? I said, paint my sets for the play. And I had to send a note home to the parents to get permission, and the kids had to wear old clothes. But the boys, it was 4 boys who were having Saturday detention. I brought them in, and I had them whitewashing all of my sets so I could paint the new sets. Actually, they kind of loved it. They asked if I could do Saturday detention every week. I'm like, I don't need you anymore. You did too good a job. So I believe strongly in child labor, 100%.
That's like Breakfast Club. We never had Saturday detention in our schools, though. We'd have in schools. You get an in school suspension. Like if you got in trouble for something, and it was like, well, we can't send you home right now, so you got to go in this room for the rest of the day, and then you're suspended afterwards. But detentions were always just during the weekday. I don't think I could have came in like on a weekend. Like,
yeah, I had one Saturday detention ever, and I had to write a 500-word essay. So. That was fun.
Yeah.
But I might have hit the French teacher with a volleyball in the side of the head, so I might have kind of deserved it. It wasn't
why did you hit the volleyball? Why did you hit the teacher with the volleyball? Did you mean to hit the teacher with the volleyball?
She wasn't overly pleasant, and it wasn't totally intentional. I was joking with my friends that I was going to spike a volleyball at her, and then I did.
And you actually spiked the volleyball at her.
It did actually hit her, and that was not my intention because I wasn't good at
volleyball. Sure. All right, Manson. Your words are out there.
Honestly, I didn't think I'd actually hit her because I sucked at volleyball. I was really bad, but my aim was on at that point. So
that's when you actually hit him when you're not trying to or didn't, maybe he was. But.
Yeah. They're like, we have you on record saying you're going to hit them. We have people that came forward saying you said you were going to hit her.
I was joking about it. I never thought I could.
Well, we don't know that. That's what you said. So it's on record now.
On record.
You're on record. We got witnesses saying you said that.
But she was mostly unpleasant, and I will say I was a bit of a legend for a while for volleyball.
A legend. Okay.
Right.
Everyone was highly amused. She was not the most pleasant human.
Like Fonzarelli versus Ballbreaker.
I did feel kind of bad because it actually hit her right on the ear, and I was worried about her actual eardrums. So I was worried about the percussion of the volleyball hitting her on the ear. Like, I didn't want to hurt her. I really didn't.
Sure you were. Sure.
I'm not that evil. I mean, I joke about being vindictive, but I never actually follow through usually.
I didn't mean to push him off the cliff. It just happened.
No, I'll come up with vindictive plans, but I usually don't follow through with them. I just think of them.
That's what Charles Manson said too. That's why he had to.
Yeah.
No, he followed through though.
See, I'm gonna have to call Chew now and be like, if you're in trouble, just call this number. Let me know.
So the next time he chats with you, just tell him to blink 3 times if he's in danger. Okay?
Yeah. He'd be like, I'm blinking, but I can't come on camera.
Yeah. Do your hand. Do it twice.
Yeah. Close your your hand 3 times if you're in danger.
Oh shit. Oh, good fun. Well, what is it 11:40?
Just
Here to
about.
wrap this one out. Hopefully everybody got a nice little laugh going into the weekend here. We're going to shut it down, and it was great to be back. It was great to see you guys as always, and
Always good to see you too.
have some good beers, have a few chat, and see everybody in here, and all the great people that came in for the first time. Hector, great having you here as well. Always great having you, JT and Emerson, Trez, everybody else, Vanessa that was here. It's fun. It's nice and relaxing Thursday, and as I named the bar now, the BeerVentures Beer Bar is what I'm going to call it. It was great to have people come in. I need to write a song about it at some point. BeerVentures Beer Bar. I got to come up with a jingle for that.
Wrote a
Like,
song.
cheers. Oh, my shit. Rogers, and you do it in the house. Cheers. Great to see you, my friend. It's been a while. Hopefully you're doing well up there.
He says
You
it's
do
the
us
first
up.
time here. How are you saying it's been a while?
Because I know you do it. He's up in Jersey. So first time here tonight. Yeah. But it's been a while since we've actually talked and stuff. Great guy. Follow him on Instagram. If you haven't seen him on Instagram, he's a lot of stuff he posts there. Great, fun-loving guy. Always doing some different things. Him and Vanessa would hit it off great on stuff too, because he's always doing like home type things. I know Vanessa would love to see some of the stuff there that he does. But great to see you, my friend. And yeah, so we're 2 weeks out from Halloween, which is crazy as we're spinning through. Things are getting cooler right now. I think we're like it's like 48 degrees right now, which is crazy because we were just like 70 something yesterday. Supposed to be a cold week coming, so weather is definitely changing. We're 3 weeks out, maybe 2 weeks out. Isn't the Saturday after Halloween? We flip the clocks.
I think so. Yeah.
After Halloween.
Yeah, so we're getting close to that and as well. So we get the kids to have a little extra hour of sunlight when they go to school.
52 degrees.
You're 52? So I'm actually cooler here in Maryland than you are in Illinois, which usually you're colder there than I am here.
We
Did you just say you're cooler than me?
I'm definitely cooler than you, but I'm saying colder too.
What?
I'm definitely cooler.
I think we were 45 this morning.
I'm pretty sure I'm colder than you, though.
You are cold.
I am cold.
Folks, she's as cold as ice. And this I know.
As cold as Bud Ice.
Why ask why? Drink Bud Dry.
It's cold as Keystone Ice.
Do they even make Bud Dry anymore? I didn't know they make Bud Dry anymore.
I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
I have not seen it.
That was from the 90s. Oof. Yeah. I should do a video about beers we used to drink that we can't drink anymore, because there's some old ones that are out there for sure.
Pass everybody. Don't do that video. They can't have it.
No, they might be happy they can't get them because some of them were shit beers. For the kids that are doing a non-alcoholic right now, you're lucky you'd have to go through the non-alcoholic shit that we had from back in the day, because Sharps and that St. Pauli stuff, and they were not cutting it.
No.
You got much better selections nowadays.
Horrific.
Yeah.
No one wanted that.
Yeah. Like, when I live like this, you must have given me the real shit, because it ain't worth living for.
I feel like I'm experiencing trauma right now, like just thinking about some of the NA stuff that was out.
Yeah. It was a different time and different beverages for sure. But go out there, kids, get yourself a chicken Big Mac, which is weird in itself, by the way, as I say that. Yeah, Mal's looking like, yeah, that's the new thing now. They got a chicken Big Mac. I don't know if you saw that or not. Like,
no?
Yeah, chicken Big Mac is out there. And soon with JV, we have to get this video rolled because I'm sure the McRib. Is the McRib coming back, or is the McRib done?
It comes back once a year.
I thought they got rid of it possibly forever, though. Maybe.
That's still one of the greatest videos ever.
That's one of the greatest non-McDonald's commercials ever made that JV did. Like,
that was great. Yes, that was.
I feel like they should pay JV to have that actually be a commercial. Yeah,
100% they should.
Yeah. So when the McRib is back, we will show that video there too, because it's just that good. Who doesn't like? I mean, McRib. I mean, I say who doesn't like a McRib? There's some people that don't like it, but you gotta get at least one.
Yeah.
Whatever mystery meat that is with the pickles on top.
Get the McRib and the Shamrock Shake and just
Shamrock Shake. Always like the Shamrock Shake. I mean, whether it's real milk or not, I don't know, but the Shamrock Shake is actually
No
pretty
idea.
good.
It's green and delicious. That's all.
It's like somebody says, it's like you like enjoy hot dogs, and they say, well, you know what they put in the hot dog? No, and don't ruin that for me.
Don't say a word.
You let me live my dream.
Right.
Don't rain on my parade, Buster.
You let me eat this Nathan's hot dog in peace, please. So yeah. But that being said, we'll sign off. Great being back. See you guys next week. Oh, on the channel, this last couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, I've been pretty inundated on stuff, but I do have more videos coming to the channel, by the way. I've actually got a lot of stuff recorded. I just haven't uploaded. So stay tuned to check out some of that stuff. I'm going to try to get a batch thing done this weekend, and I've got some more of the little short type videos I'll be putting up as well, which I got to find out what's going on because shorts now on YouTube are up to 3 minutes, but I did some releases earlier and they didn't come out as shorts, but I did through Opus Clip, so it might be some weird thing I have to do there. But it's great to actually get back in and do stuff. So a lot of great stuff happening. Make sure to check out What's Your Beer with Todd and Shannon. Some great videos they're putting out. Mal, you're not doing anything yet, still there, but you still have some good footage out there from some stuff you've done before. But
there's not new stuff, but the old stuff was pretty good. So,
There you go.
Yeah. So if you didn't catch up on the Perfectly Me Crafts, catch up on her stuff as well. And then all of us are out there with different videos that keep coming out from One Flight Down or Shane's Craft Beer or Brian the Beer Snob or A Beer Day with TK or Ginger Yeti beer reviews because they keep dropping videos. Chase has his stuff that it's like Nutmeg to Palmetto. It's like all these videos that we did when we were in Canada are still dropping out there. So
yeah,
don't forget to see Brian the Beer Snob's the Star Trek shows that never were but should have been from like 2 years ago. You got to check that out. You're gonna love it.
Yes, check out that Brian the Beer Snob Star Trek shows that never were but should have been. Another great person that we got a chance to hang out with as well. So a lot of good stuff happening. PA Brew News. Can't forget Paul, of course. Great stuff that he has out there. Dave's TV. Great stuff there. So we have a bunch of stuff that's just yeah, and
Joe's too.
Yeah, the Beer Patrol. So Joe. Although I don't think Joe recorded anything much. He was in stuff. I don't know if he recorded anything on his own when we were there, but make sure to check out Joe the Beer Patrol as well. But
I know you guys did one, but I think it was the only thing.
Oh, and TK. Beer a day.
Yes, I said I had a beer day with TK as well. Yeah. So a lot of good folks that did have a beer day. TK, thank you again for shipping me the Ohio box with love because it's funny. I read a press release about Ohio Pint Day and TK actually got me one of the glasses for Ohio Pint Day, which is pretty cool. And he got me a couple beers. If you just see the unboxing, he got me a couple beers with it. But one of the beers, I have it. TK has it. Ginger Yeti has it.
No.
And Don has it.
No.
And Don's beer review. So be on the lookout. We're going to have the 4-way probably come in the next couple of weeks, a 4-way beer review. Yeah. And it's a good beer. It's a good beer. It's a good 4-way. It's not a P. Diddy 4-way. It's just a nice
you
beer.
Expect that 4-way there from Rod there with all guys and whatnot.
This isn't a P. Diddy party. This is us doing it for.
Are you included in the chat that the BrewTubers convention people are part of? Are you part of that? Mm-hmm. Okay. What the hell? They were blowing up the phone the other day talking about weather. It's like, what is happening right now, guys?
They had different chats going different directions on that.
It was too funny. I was kind of on the sidelines just watching it all go down. I was like,
I'm not a huge fan of winter myself. I mean, if I get the cold, I get the cold.
They're sending screenshots of their temperatures. I'm like, oh God,
guys,
come on.
Apparently Brian likes hell because he's like, I love 95-degree weather, heat, whatever. Like, no, I don't want it that hot for sure.
Yeah.
He brought 3 jackets when he came to Chicago in in July. He brought 3 jackets because he was so sure that he was going to freeze to death. So, just saying.
He's spoiled down there. He's spoiled down there in Georgia.
Sweat to death.
Well, it's good that Brian came out okay down in Georgia. Chase came out okay down in South Carolina. Dave came out okay in Florida because they were kind of the ones down there dealing with some of the weather stuff coming through. So that all seemed to work out for them. But yeah,
well,
great folks and a lot of great stuff still coming. And still surprised I haven't seen more of the karaoke stuff popping up yet, but I know it will at some point.
Well, Chase saved it until just before the next event, so I'm willing to bet he's going to save all his footage till like the.
Well, that's Chase, but I know Alan has stuff.
That's true. I have a couple too.
You probably have stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did Shannon record anything, Todd, when she was?
Feel like she did, but I'm not.
I thought she may have, but I wasn't sure.
She was holding Nutmeg's phone. She was helping Nutmeg.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
She was always holding someone else's phone as far
I feel
as
like Dave might have some stuff. I feel like Dave might have recorded some stuff too, and so yeah, there's some stuff floating around out there. And again,
I had Paul singing opera. I didn't film that, and I wish
nobody had that. That was a select event. I would have loved to have seen that.
Together.
Oh man, that was unreal.
Yeah.
Paul
It's just me seeing him sitting down and playing the piano was shocking in itself. That was just like, what the hell is he doing over? Like, I was just blown back by him, just like, yeah. And he just turns around with that sly grin on his face he always has, like, dude, like I had no idea you knew how to play piano. Like, yeah. A man of many talents. Yeah. So it's all good. That being said, I'm babbling and I'm running on here. Let's go ahead and shut this shit down, and we will see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.